Hey, what's going on YouTube? It is Nile with Pop XP with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Billy Tucci, and the biggest fan there ever is, there ever was, there ever will be, Mr. Brian Blevins.
FanBoy Blevins. Look at him. And you see his face
right here.
Hot dang, Blevins is alive.
Barely. Not from people lack of trying, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, damn, dude. You've had a crazy night, man. You got an outlaw coming on, so crazy. I think you got a brother in arms coming on.
Dude, that's right.
That we got in the wings, man.
He's waiting backstage.
Because we're like badass like that, you know?
He's fluffing them up, you know? He's spiking it out. He's ready to talk about what his comics are all about.
Yeah, he's got the Mendoza going.
The Mendoza?
Yeah, the Mendoza.
The Mendoza.
Yes.
So without further ado, gentlemen.
Yes.
We're going to introduce our returning guest, a man that his female forms are of none other. A voluptuous, deliciousest. Oh, man. Let's just bring him on. Mr. Dan Mendoza.
What's up?
What up, Dan?
Guys?
Good to see you, brother. How you doing, man?
What's going on?
What's up?
Welcome back to this crazy zoo. Welcome back. Actually, we were crowdfunding comics when you were on before, but we've recently rebranded. And
I'd like to say
we're doing the same thing. We've enhanced.
We evolved.
Expanded.
We evolved.
Like a snap.
Yeah, you were one of our first guests too. He was an early guest, man.
Yeah.
Good to have you back, bro.
I think Billy was sick
back, man.
Yeah. He was just on like 2 months ago. What are you talking about?
It was only 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like every 2 months.
I forget that we've been doing this for like freaking over a year, man.
We charge. Do you not remember? We charge him rent for that square right there. We charge him rent.
He's got that money.
Like, can I rent this box? Like,
so Dan, how has life been since the last time you were on your show with your last campaign?
It's been crazy, dude. Like, freaking. That whole COVID thing, just like we were like, what the fuck's gonna happen? But it was crazy, man. Convention season was coming up, and I was just like, my brother's like telling me, you shouldn't go anywhere, dude. This COVID thing's coming. I was like, fuck that, dude. I'll go wherever I'm gonna go. And then the first show was gonna be in Canada, man. And then and I kept my reservations. I was already packing to leave, and then finally they canceled it, dude. So it's like, I was like, all right. If they cancel the show, I can't go. So then, it started going like domino effect, dude. And I was just like, fuck, I guess I'm not going anywhere. So, just getting ahead of everything. I made all my exclusives for 4 shows, like 4 shows worth of exclusives and stuff. So I was just like, well, fuck it. The show must go on. So we started having our own shows on Facebook, our own live feeds. Every time a show was canceled, the weekend it was supposed to be, we had a show, and then we would do the exclusives anyways and sell them in our store, and we would have give out prizes and do trivia, and I would open up for commissions just like a convention, man. And we would log in at 10 a.m. every day and talk to the fans like we would at a show, man. And it worked out great, dude.
Oh, that's a great idea. I mean, I've seen people doing that. I haven't done it yet, but it was successful to do it.
Yeah, it was really successful, man. It was everybody logged in every day for these things, man. It was cool.
How are you doing that though? Did you have someone moderating for you, like keeping track of everything?
No, me and Nightmare, we just set up our cell phone on our little tripod and and logged into our the Art of Dan Mendoza Facebook page and went, just did it. What I mean? And then we got our online store, so we had everything set up there. So when people wanted commissions, so we say, okay, we're opening up for three or 5 today or whatever it was, and then I would be on my laptop when we're live, and I'm like, bam, it's live now. Then people would grab their commissions, and then okay, cool, and then later on I would come back. We would go on for about an hour and a half or something, or an hour every morning, and then I would go back around 3 p.m. and just do a live drawing event to work on commissions that people got and things like that, and answer questions people have. I try to keep it like a virtual convention, so people can talk to me about things they would talk to me about if they were just at my table. So I just kept it casual, man, and it worked out well. So.
And you didn't have to leave your house, bro.
Yeah,
and neither did anybody else.
Yeah,
no rest for the wicked.
Yeah, I didn't have to wait in line for coffee, and it was good, man.
Now, what so you'd go on, you'd start your stream, you would take let's say you take your orders for the commissions, and then do you chat with everyone, talk about what's going on, then take a break, then come back on and actually start drawing the commissions?
Yeah. So it would
cool.
be we would do like an hour and an hour and a half show every morning around 10. Have our coffee, and talk to everybody, talk about what's going on, what's sold out, what's still available, things like that. We would on Saturdays we would open the vault, so I would pull out like old things that are hard to get, and we would put them in our store and let everybody know and stuff. And it was cool. And then it would be we would sign out and then let them know that at 3 p.m. I would go back on and draw for a little bit. And I would just draw one commission live, you know what I mean? And then
that's pretty solid, man.
But I kept getting kicked off because on Facebook you can't play music in the background; they'll kick you off.
Oh, I know.
So I'd play movies, and it seemed to be okay. But then I played a movie with too much music, and they kicked me off.
Really?
And then it was Reservoir Dogs. They kicked me off for watching Reservoir Dogs, and then so then I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch a TV show. So I was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, and they kicked me off. HBO had me kicked off for watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. So then I just started doing the live feeds in dead silence, but I would just wear headphones and listen to music on my headphones. But it's kind of lame to hear that dead space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think actually you can get away with that though if you announce or post that the music in your stream doesn't belong to you or something.
Really?
Yeah, because I see.
Really?
Is that not true, Blevins?
No, that's a misnomer. You get there's fair use rules. Again, there's fair use rules. Like if you're using it for educational purposes, or if you're doing a review of it, or something along those lines, you can utilize that stuff. But yeah, just saying you don't own the stuff doesn't just allow you to be able to use it. Like if I print like She Number One and I say this belongs to Billy Tucci, that doesn't make it legal,
You sure? I don't know. I've been getting away with it.
I'll be like She Number One. This is owned by Billy Tucci, but it's cool. $3.99 a book. Like, hey, what's up? Let's sell it.
Damn, dude.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah. You can't do that. Yeah, just making a disclaimer doesn't.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a misnomer. Kind of like asking a police officer undercover if they're a cop. Are you a cop? You gotta tell me. You gotta tell me. Yeah, I know you gotta tell me.
We found a loophole on if we do a live video feed. Let's say if I'm drawing and then I save it to my phone and I want to make a fast-paced video on it, so I speed it up. And if you put it to music, they're not gonna let it go through. But if you overlap two songs together, it can't pick it up. It doesn't pick it up, and it goes through every time.
Oh wow!
Oh shit!
So cool. We started doing that just for fun when we do like fast-paced, versions of a drawing session and stuff. But,
now, is your con store still open on your website?
Yeah, it's always open. It's stillaprincess.com, which is my studio, and then so the store is always open. You know what I mean? So even now with the COVID thing, we just put disclaimers on there that mail is taking longer and stuff like that, and and just bear in mind that that's just the way it's going to be. And then we're relocating at the end of this month, so so we're letting people know that packages are going to be delayed. So it's kind of like buyer beware kind of thing, just to let you know that we got your order, but it's just going to take a little while to do it because my house is a mess right now. It's just full of boxes.
Dude, I know.
Yeah, it's like don't shoot the messenger when your boxes get there in 3 days.
Yeah, people are getting mad, dude. I'm just like, I'm not responsible for that part, dude. Like, I'm sorry that it's been sitting in Los Angeles for 3 weeks, but it's I can't control it. And then some people get mad and some people are understanding. It's just like, they'll get their stuff, like I've been waiting. I haven't even got any kind of face mask to wear. I ordered some and Nightmare ordered some. They're just sitting there in Los Angeles. We can't at the post office.
That's crazy. Like people are getting upset. It's like you can't even go get a haircut. You think you can go get other stuff is not functioning right now either. It's now just starting to open up.
Yeah, I scheduled to get a haircut. I scheduled to get a haircut, and I had to schedule like a week and a day in advance, and then even then they didn't have enough people to do it, so they rescheduled me for like the next week, and I'm just like, man, forget it. I'm gonna trade for a haircut on Craigslist.
Yo, Brash Smurf, can you
Brash
post the
Smurf,
link
what's up?
so we
Got
can
that
pop
Sad Girl
up?
logo right there, man.
Yeah, that's
cool.
badass.
Yeah.
Can someone get the link for Dan's Kickstarter so we can load that up so people can go to it?
Yeah, Frank will pop that in there.
Nice. Frank Amazing will do it.
Frank Amazing is on it. So let's check what you got going on, man.
Yeah.
Boom. $92,295. You are 4 shy from 600 backers and 11 days to go, dude. That's incredible. And you were funded in a minute. In under 1 minute.
That's my thing now. It's like funding is about a minute now. A minute, maybe a little bit under. So it's kind of cool. It's just so we still keep the tradition of the goal being 8,000, because when I did my first book on Kickstarter, I was like, I think I was just calculating the costs and stuff. I was like 8,000 to make this many books, so that's what we keep it at, and those things gets funded quick, man. It's pretty cool.
That's crazy. And I mean, even starting with $8,000, I mean, to have that just pop $8,000 in a minute, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Oh, I would take that.
What did it say?
What's that?
What did that say?
Dan will do anything to make sure you get your stuff. Patience.
Awesome, Robert, man. That's a big fan, Robert Selb right there, man. Yeah, I get really anal and obsessive compulsive about everything, and like I'll start contacting post offices on the phone. I'm trying to get a hold of people, and I'm writing letters, and I go ape shit, man.
Robert said it was funded in 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was. I think it was probably 10 seconds under a minute, but I didn't like sit there and do the little stopwatch and shit. So I'm just like, that was a minute. I just looked at the clock. It was a minute, dude. So
that's crazy.
But yeah,
dude.
Awesome. I like that positive thinking. It was 30 seconds. Awesome.
How great is it though? Like each campaign that you're going on with, you finish one successful one after another successful one, and you're just like you're seeing it climb every time. I mean,
I love it, man. It's I mean the fans, they all stuck with me, and I'm gaining more fans with each Kickstarter, and as each Kickstarter goes, I'm getting more followers that subscribe to me on Kickstarter, and then they're joining my my mailing list and all that stuff, and it's really cool, man, to see those reactions.
Well, Dan is a perfect example of giving the people what they want and making sure you deliver your books.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh yeah. It is. Your reliability, a good product, what your fans want, you listen to your fans. I mean, this is proof of how you grow that independent career.
Yeah, the thing about just being indie is, like I've said before on my live shows and stuff, that it's when you're eliminating the middleman, you're eliminating a corporation or whatever it is. It's just you and the fans. Just like when you see them at a show, it's just you and the fans. And I try to keep that kind of like that bond with everybody, and I like when I do live feeds, I go back and I answer every single question I missed, and if it takes me over an hour and stuff, I mean, I always try to stay in contact with everybody and just keep it more personal. And then when you keep it more personal, people kind of respect that, and I try to make sure that, since I'm just kind of a workaholic, so I kind of make sure that when I say I'm going to do something, it happens like right away, like, you know what I mean? So with these Kickstarters, when I start doing those stretch goals of new covers, stuff like that, I'm cranking out like a cover a day, man, just to keep up with everybody. So it's kind of cool that people, they know that that's going to happen. It's going to come, you know what I mean? So
you bust your ass too.
Right.
You really do, man. You bust your ass.
I don't know. I guess it's all right.
I remember Billy said how much you like naps, and I'm starting to get to that level where on the Thursday, I'm like, fuck, I need a fucking nap.
Dude, naps are the best.
I missed my nap today. I couldn't take a nap. Too much going on.
Yeah, I had a busy day. I was like, man, I could really go for one of those fucking naps.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think I texted Billy like, I don't know, maybe it was quarter of 8 or so. I'm like, bro, I could go to sleep right now. I need some coffee. He's like, I know. I'm like, my wife just explained to me, like, she's been like tracking like what I've been sleeping, and she's like, you're lucky if you're getting like 3.5 hours, because I just like lay there like some weirdo. I'm just laying.
Staring at her. You just stare at her. And you touch her.
I'm just staring at her.
Kind of like lean your hand over and touch her, and then she bats it away.
Yeah, I'm like, are you
No.
awake?
Now
Are you awake?
called and woke
Honey,
me up.
I know. I woke up Blevins this afternoon or this morning.
I was thinking about the Sugar Pop theme song, man. I had the Sugar Pop theme song going in my head all day today.
What from the video?
The real theme song.
Oh,
the sweet sugar pop, rocky pop. You don't stop to the sweet beat drop.
Oh shit!
But you improve the move with every poem recited on top of the groove. Smooth, flowing like a butterfly. New set of flows, like a lullaby. Brace yourself as the beat hits you. Dip, trip, flip, fantasia. What?
Man,
that's crazy.
He's always spitting right.
Mendoza.
But speaking of the video, let's check this out.
Watch it.
Let's check it out, man.
God,
let's check it out.
Such a good video.
Hey, what's up, all my Still Ill fans from Still Ill Princess Studios? This is Dan Mendoza saying what's up. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been contributing to all these awesome Kickstarters and all these awesome stories I've been making for you guys. It's been a dream come true, and we want to present to you our Sugar Pop 2 Kickstarter. It is now live for you to enjoy, and we got so many awesome covers, man. We got Jesse Witchman to Bill McKay to Jose Variz, man, plus more and more and more. It's just an endless amount of awesome artists that contribute to this Kickstarter. So please make your pledge today, and thank you so much. Still Ill.
That makes me want to punt a unicorn.
God, dude.
Punt a unicorn.
Personally, that art's so friggin' hot. These are the hottest, cutest little girls, and then the others. And that's all you need for a video, man. People out there, if you guys are watching, that's all you need. How long was that? 30,
I keep it at a minute.
A
you
minute?
Want to keep it? 1 minute, man. That's it. That's all you really need for these videos.
Yeah.
I just backed a because we have cats and stuff, so I just backed a new kind of kitty litter thing, and the video was so fucking long. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to watch this anymore. I'll just back this kitty litter box and be done with it.
We've actually had it because sometimes I forget to check the video before we'll go live. It's very rare it happens, but every time I do forget or I'll go through and never watch the video, and then we go live and let's check out the video, and it's 13 minutes. I literally stop no, we're not gonna do it. Sorry, dude, your video is way too long. You guys can check it out on your own.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man.
I'm like,
but
no.
It's a great video.
All the interiors for this is done by TM Chu, who was the very first artist on Zombie Tramp when it became a monthly series. Nice. So me and him, he did the first Sugar Pop book for me. So it's only a 4-part book, so it's a 4-part miniseries. So he's down to do all of them. So his artwork is just really awesome, man.
Yeah,
it's just turned out nice.
Yo, what's up,
Jimmy?
It's my best friend, Jimmy Palmiotti.
Let me tell you about my best friend.
My bestest friend in the whole wide world.
Oh, dang.
You should see the mashed potato sculpture that Blevins has been working on.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing, but I did get hungry, and it is no more. That's all.
Didn't that happen with the pudding one, too?
Yes, it happened with the pudding one, and the chocolate sculpture, and the Jello one, and all the other ones that I made.
The tiramisu.
All right, this is not your show now, but let's go to our. Hey, Dan, Dan, so tell us the story. What's the story of it, man?
This one is it's like I said, it's the second part to the first one, and the Sad Girl Psycho Baby universe, which was the first book that I did on my own for a Kickstarter. I keep it all in the same universe, and Sugar Pop's in that book. She's Sad Girl's sidekick, but people like her so much that, and I had already written Sugar Pop before I even wrote Sad Girl Psycho Baby. I had been working on this character for a couple years before, so I had a whole story background for it. So I went ahead and said, let's just make this the whole like a whole miniseries based of her origin story. So
Nice.
in the Sad Girl Psycho Baby universe, it's like post-apocalyptic, and the atmosphere changed one day, and it mutated. It wiped out like mostly the whole world and stuff, but the people who had strong DNA that could survive, they mutated. So there's different kinds of mutants and monsters and things like that. So what it was with Sugar Pop is that Sugar Pop takes place in present time with this story, and you find out that the reason why the atmosphere changed is because Sugar Pop, like all these unicorns, came down from outer space and just fucking wiped out humanity and changed the atmosphere and shit. So you kind of find out that's you kind of find that out in the first issue. So, but they were just like these war machines. They were just regular unicorns, like back in the caveman era, but they were getting wiped out by cavemen and stuff like that. And these aliens came down and saved them, but also mixed their DNA with the unicorns to humanize them and turn them into these war machines. So they come down as these crazy war machines centuries later, and but Sugar Pop gets captured and wiped out, and there's a human that's kind to her, and she starts to figure out what love is and what kindness is and things like that, and her whole personality changes. So now in this book, it's her and her loved one, Henry. They're on the run. They're heading west because the whole thing started in Florida. So they're heading west and just kind of trying to escape the war. But wherever they go, like mutants know that they hate unicorns, and the soldiers are always looking for her and stuff like that. So this issue is like a 22-page fucking fight, dude. And it's just brutal.
Oh, that's great.
Dude, that's hopefully a big body count.
See what you're doing, man?
Yeah.
You're giving fun, sexy, racy, books. But you're not like we did that panel, man. You're the outlaw panel. I mean, dude, you are an outlaw, man, and that is great. You're fearless, dude.
Yeah, so that's one of the things. One of the things with American comics that always kind of drove me nuts, because getting into American comics first and then getting into Japanese mangas and things like that, like was the fight scenes, man. Like the American comic books, the fight scenes would just be like, a couple pages with a shit ton of dialogue while they're fighting. And I'm just like, that's not real, dude. And then I'm reading Japanese manga and they got like a 100-page book that's a one long fight.
Yeah,
and that's so I kind of wanted to start doing that in my books, where if the shit's gonna go down, the shit's gonna go down for a whole book or more. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like we'll not just do like one page of fighting and shit and just call it good. It's like I want the action back into action comics.
Oh, you're doing the enamel pin? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the enamel pins are 4 inches, man. They're fully detailed. Those things are awesome.
Nice.
And then we just released, we listen to the fans and things that they want and everything like that. And people have always been asking me since the Zombie Tramp days, like, you should have a stripper pin. Remember those old stripper pins that you turn upside down? I was like, yeah. So this time I'm just like, okay, when we hit 100K, we're going to fucking do this stripper pin. So I announced it. So
where do you even get those made?
I was going to say, where do you get them?
Yeah, Jesus.
I'll let you know.
He's like, wait for it. Wait. Yeah,
we found a new company that makes those, so we're working with them to see how it turns out, and if it turns out well, I'll let you guys know and stuff. Polito wants to know, everybody wants to know. So, yeah.
I'm gonna get a box of 100 just for my wife, and it'll be me.
Yeah.
She'll be like, no. Wait, what?
I remember.
What is that?
When I was a kid, my dad had a couple of those pens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you'd have that Vargas style painting of girls, on there and stuff like that. And
yeah,
I always thought it was the coolest shit. So
I love that. I remember my uncle gave me one once.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh dang.
I wish I was the guy that
was like a Vargas drawing and all, just like, yeah, check this out. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. It's like second grade.
Yeah.
That's straight for the rest of my life. I'll tell you that one.
Yeah.
And everybody was saying, oh, you got to do like a face mask because of the COVID. And I was like, nah, I don't know. And then like, oh, you should do like a cover for the COVID. I was like, I don't know. But then like when it got to like a certain level on the covers, I was like, all right, fucking COVID queens. And then I was like, you want a face mask? Here's a fucking face mask. So I just threw all that shit in there.
Give the people what they want, man.
Yeah,
Take it,
they ask for it,
man.
I do my best to try to give the fans what they want all the time, man. That's crazy.
That's the way to do it, dude. And I gotta ask, like, you were describing the story and everything. I mean, what inspired this?
This one's more in the anime based genre of ecchi and stuff. And ecchi is just a genre of Japanese manga and anime, you know, where it celebrates, like, you know, it's just girls with big boobs and lots of fan service, like panty shots and butt shots and, you know, and all that stuff. But I Sugar Pop's built around that, but I want it taken seriously, so I want like a good story and things like that. So I since Sad Girl's based in that post-apocalyptic, I had to build off of what was started with Sad Girl. So I kind of went in with that and say, okay, let's show how the fucking world ends, and let's make Sugar Pop the basis for it. So yeah, I just kind of built off of that.
Oh, cool. And then another thing, because you're kind of going into like, you're listening to like what the fans want and stuff. Let me ask you a question. For anyone out there that's crowdfunding or just a creator in general that's maybe working in comics of some kind, how do you go about listening to your fans? Do you have a chance, like, do you have them email you, message you, and then really do you sit down and actually break down, like, okay, they're suggesting this, this, and this, and you actually look at their suggestions and actually like, all right, yeah, you know, the majority want this. I'm getting a lot of requests.
Yeah, I don't have a specific area where fans contact me. I let them contact me from wherever they want to.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? So I get an email from the store, I get an email from where they subscribe to me, or I get, you know, Facebook DM'd or Instagram or whatever. But it's kind of like you just kind of absorbing it, and then you'll start to notice that there's a particular item or comment that keeps coming up. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, this is something that I should look into because this more than one fan wants this. This is something that could be something. So,
yeah.
Now, Dan, you got like a really unique, fun style. What's the genesis of it? What's your inspiration and all? How'd you?
I started off. I grew up in Sacramento when I was young, and Ron Lim was there. He was like the only person that did comic books over there, and I just love fucking Silver Surfer. And he would always be at this comic book store I went to, and he would have Xerox pictures of Silver Surfer, and he'd sign them and stuff. So then, you know, I started buying a lot of his stuff, and I was like, okay. So I was really into his stuff, and you know, that went on to, you know, like Alan Davis, and, you know, of course, when Jim Lee came on the scene and things like that, and I would just kind of start learning anatomy from these guys, you know, and like I would have all these X-Men Jim Lee posters and Excalibur Alan Davis posters in my room. You know, and even McFarlane Grey Hulk stuff, you know what I mean? And I would just try to memorize the poses. So I said, I'm just gonna work on that pose for fucking like ever, dude. So I would be looking at it and drawing it, looking at it and drawing it. And then when I was at school, because I never did my homework or nothing, I would be at school and I would just be trying to draw that shit from memory. So I would just constantly be doing that. So after I kind of had the anatomy of, let's say, a guy character built, I said, okay, let's move on to how they draw female characters. So I'm looking at how Jim Lee did Rogue and things like that, or Psylocke, and I'm just trying to memorize it. And then it was like a back and forth thing, because once I tried it, I think I had the female figure down, my male figure would be fucked. So I had to keep going back and forth. And then I started getting really into anime and stuff like Fist of the North Star and Akira and things like that. And I was like, what is this anime stuff? This is awesome. And then I had to go to Suncoast and buy these DVDs that were way too expensive. And I was like, this stuff is awesome. Like, the girls are soft. These girls are soft and they're squishy, and their figures are nicer, and the faces are more simple and cuter and things like that. So I started getting into that shit. And then I was getting Joji Manabe stuff like Outlanders, like those mangas and things like that, and Dirty Pair. And I was like, I would start saying, you know, I'm going to start drawing this shit. So it started to become a back and forth thing to how American comics are and Japanese comics are. And then that led up into when Batman the Animated Series came out, and I got really into that art style, you know what I mean? And with Bruce Timm and things like that. And I was like, I started really getting into how things are simplified. So I was like, things don't have to be so detailed to look nice. So I just started thinking like less is more and I was like, and I could draw faster because of it. So I started to hone like what works and what's fast and what stays cute, and then the whole Japanese side, like how do you make girls just look like they're sexiest and the cutest and things like that, where their boobs don't look like footballs, you know what I mean? Where's the squishiness, are the curves in the right place, where's the hard edges, where's the soft edges, things like that. So all the anatomy is all just a mix up of a ton of Japanese artists. And then the male anatomy, it still to this day stays in the realm of like Alan Davis, Art Adams, Jim Lee, and
Yeah.
and things like that, and I still kind of remember that stuff. But Bruce Timm, man, looking at Bruce Timm's stuff when the animated series came out, and he had there was a Batman art of book and things like that. I started to just look at things how he did an arm with just like 3 lines, and things like that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah,
And I
you
would just
capture the
memorize that
essence
shit.
of it, and you can see those guys that know what they're doing, man.
Mhm.
And when you know what you're doing.
And a big thing with the faces is that he was either American or Japanese, Japanese, and then I went to Cal Arts for animation and things like that. I was just like, man, dude, I really like Glenn King, and Glenn King was like the head designer on so many animated things like Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and all these movies, and he just like we would have, since it was an animation department, we would have access to all these old model sheets from Disney, and then I was like, look at all these face expressions. So I would just work on these face expressions over and over and starting to see how they did eyes and noses and how it was different. It was almost different but the same to Japanese styles. The Japanese anime is really simplified, but Disney was almost the same kind of area. So I kind of started mixing all my faces between Disney and Japanese styles and stuff. So it's a trip. It's a long road.
But it looks fun. It looks like you're having a blast doing it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Covers man.
So I mean, you've got the animation background. I mean, are you planning on anything? We're gonna get anything in the future?
Yeah, I bought a program, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get back into this, and I one day I finally installed it. Like it took almost a year just after I bought it to install it, and I started going, let's start working on this program. So I did a little bouncing ball, and then I did a little walk cycle and all that shit. But I'm just like, man, this is time consuming. What's time consuming is just learning the program, because the last time I animated was on paper. So I'm just like, fuck, man. But I want to get the time to actually, to do little animated segments that you can just put as intros to every Kickstarter of every character, and you just see that character running around and shooting a gun or doing something cool. I mean, it's just fun, man. But yeah, it's time consuming. I'm so busy that I'll probably end up outsourcing it and having someone else animate it.
It's good to be busy though, ain't it, bro?
Yeah, it's a good busy, man.
That's a sign of success.
Outsource
Outsource it.
Just outsource it, and
that's it.
And turning down jobs, man. I'm just like,
that
was my big thing.
Now I got a question though.
Yeah.
Do you so like with these campaigns and stuff? Now the current campaign right now, I know you've done a few of them. Is this right now? Is this the top performer?
Yes, Sugar Pop. We're calling, because it's the studio is still Il Princess. So we got 3 main characters, and we call them the princesses. And so she's right now, she's the top princess. She's doing this book is doing the best of all the Kickstarters so far. I think there's 5 total Kickstarters so far. So yeah, right now Sugar Pop's #1, man. Before that was Sad Girl. So,
the #1 princess.
She's the #1 princess right now. So we were thinking like having we'll put like a little thing on the wall, like little posters, and we'll have little ribbons just in our office of who's the best right now. Like a little Velcro crown, you stick it on. Who's the best right now?
Nice.
Just for fun.
Let me ask you a question. Like, you sit back, you look at this, you see what's going on. Do you like this? And like, why? Do you ever think stuff like, why is this one so successful? How can I keep repeating this? Has there been anything on a marketing end you guys are doing differently on how you're presenting your stuff, or?
We're getting a little bit more intense on the marketing of it. And it's just a lots of social, man. It's lots of social media posting and things like that, and staying on top, trying to stay on top of my MailChimp mailing subscription and things like that. But we're not doing anything really different. It's kind of I think it's just fans catching on, and they're trying. The whole thing when Zombie Tramp started, it was kind of like people were judging a book by its cover, and so they were turned off by it. But the thing that kept people reading Zombie Tramp was they actually opened it and they read it, and the story had good content, and then they were stuck and they were fans and they subscribed and all that shit. So this is the same thing here. I'm getting new fans, and they're just like, okay, it's a titty book, whatever, I'll just look at it for fun. But then they're like, fuck, this is good. You know what I mean? So that's story is a big part of this thing, man. Like, but it has to. if the artwork isn't appealing, then why pick it up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's all. I've always been art comes first before story. When I used to shop at comic book stores, you know, I mean, if I didn't like the artwork, why would I fucking pick it up? Because my big thing was, you know, because I just love to draw, is that if I buy this and the story sucks, at least I can go back and look at the cool artwork. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So who do you have working on this project? You know, I've seen some familiar styles on the covers you have.
That's Joe Picar, right? Is that how you pronounce the last name, Picar?
That's what I'm saying, because I don't want to call it Pekar.
Yeah,
I think it's Picar.
He's great. His style's real complimentary to yours too.
Yeah, I like Joe. Man, Joe's stuff is cool, man, and he's really easy to work with. And like I said, TM Chu does the interiors. The interior colorist is Carlos Moreno D, who colored Sad Girl 3 and Sad Girl 1. So I'm trying to keep him busy on projects so I don't lose him. Like, so I'm just like, so I'm trying to stay ahead. So like right when he finishes coloring Sugar Pop, I'll have another job for him so he doesn't take another job, because that's what happened with Sad Girl 2. He was busy and I had to color most of that shit myself. But we got Jesse Witchman, which is awesome. That's David Harrigan. Bill McKay is my buddy.
Nice,
So
Dave's great too.
Bill's always jumping on that. That's Joe Picar, man. Joe Picar is freaking awesome, man. Coming up in August, we're doing a horror anthology, and
nice.
We have all these different artists and different writers. And Joe Picar did a short story on there that he wrote and drew, which is cool. Jose Varice is awesome. This guy El Sevilla, man, he is the shit, man. That guy is so good, and he doesn't really do nudity, but since I've been working with him for a while, he was finally like, you know what, I'll do it. I'll do a nude cover. So I was like, thank you.
he's like, I guess.
Yeah. Jesse Witchman's a good dude, man. He has really cool stuff. And then Nathan Zerdy, man, this is the first Nathan Zerdy cover that I started, that I put up on a Kickstarter. He did a Sad Girl one, but I'm saving it for Sad Girl 4. But yeah, it's really, really cool stuff. Really fun.
That's a good cover.
Nathan Zerdy is a big name right now. That's TM Chu that's doing the interiors. He drew that and colored it.
The coloring's amazing on that one.
Yeah, he's the
that
shit,
really
man.
Stood out.
Yeah, his coloring's freaking awesome, man. But the thing about TM Chu is I found him in the DeviantArt days, man, and he was just doing like hentai comic books and shit. And I was like, dude, you want to do a real book, and like, you know, with the story content and not just sex? And he's like, yeah. So that's how we started our thing, man. But yeah, he's good stuff, man. And then I started doing all these homage covers. I'm like, well, let's do freaking Barbarella, man. So
Absolutely.
I think
that's
for
awesome.
Sugar Pop 3, I'll probably do a Escape from New York cover or something, you know. And then this is the first time I'm offering 11x17 prints, where they could pick
cool.
any image from rewards 1 through 10. They could pick it as a print, as an add-on. I always do 2 different coverage here, so I got the homage Barbarella, and then I always do like a kind of like a striptease cover. So this one was just like a little three paneled striptease book set or whatever. So
nice. I like how you draw the support and then the freedom.
Oh yeah,
Support,
freedom. The support and then the freedom. You know?
Yeah, it's in animation they call that squash and stretch.
Yeah, bro.
It's all squash and stretch, man. And then like we did for all the stretch goals, I was like, let's do nothing, because we did this on Cannibal Kitty, where it said all the stretch goal covers, let's make them all homages. So for Cannibal Kitty, since it was so horror based, let's do all horror movies. So this one we're like, well, let's do something fun. So I was like, let's do all video game covers. But I just didn't want to do video game covers that's like, oh, Chun-Li, or, you know, I mean, a character that's already sexy. I'm like, let's take a game that has no sex appeal at all and just put these girls in them. You know?
Like Qbert.
Yeah, so I did. We did Animal Crossing.
Nice.
Super Mario Brothers, and we did all Nintendo, and we did Legend of Zelda.
Oh my god, have you played Animal Crossing?
I love that. I play it every day.
Do you really?
Yeah,
it's a great game.
That's
a great game.
That's like the ultimate. It's the COVID game, because you can't go anywhere. So in Animal Crossing, I just go and I fish. You know what I mean? I go fishing, you know, or I look for I dig for fossils, you know. I mean, it's just
it's like my wife started playing it, and like I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like rearranging inside her tent, and it's funny.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting there like, no, put that radio thing there, and then she's like, I'm gonna go pick some oranges. I'm like, all right, let's go pick oranges.
I got the ultimate house now. You can't go any higher, so I got like a 2-bedroom house with like 4 rooms and a giant basement and all this crap.
You guys remember The Sims?
Yeah.
It's totally Sims, man, but it's a more all ages.
Yeah. Were you able to have like murders in the Sims eventually and stuff like that? People get killed and all, and
you can.
I always try to make them do it.
They did eventually add that.
They did. They were able to do it.
Oh, yeah, a little bounce, chicka, bounce.
Yep.
It's just like they'd be like, and then it was just a blurry blob.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like,
yeah, that's
like, yeah.
What the hell was that?
That was a monkey. It sounded like a little baby monkey crying.
It was a baby cry.
It sounded like a little baby monkey crying.
Little baby monkey, yeah.
That's my superpower is baby cry. Like that's.
He goes to the dressing rooms at stores and just does a baby cry.
Yeah, they come in and make sure everything's okay. I'm like, whoa.
They're like, yeah. He's like, you got this in another size.
Oh shit!
What?
Dang, now.
So you've got what?
Yeah, I think we got 16 rewards on this thing. The last reward is tradition. We always do the original art reward where there's a sketch cover that's limited. It's usually limited to only 10 backers. Mm-hmm. So that's the one right there. So so you get every single book that is in the Kickstarter, every single reward cover plus this original art, and I do 10, but this time I did 15. So it just means an extra day at Coffin Comics. Drawing this fucking thing.
Where's the Titanic cover?
Oh no, I don't want to.
That would be awesome.
And then, as usual, we do add-ons of if you've missed any of the other books, the other titles, and also Sugar Pop 1. If you missed that, you can add those on. So we always have those available.
Nice.
So this has Sad Girl 1 through 3, Sugar Pop number 1, and Cannibal Kitty number 1.
Nice.
Yeah, Eric Hawkins, you might be doing that too small, bro.
There you go, man. This is what Brian says to me all the time when I draw from.
This is the first right here, the acrylic stand. It's a big thing, like in the anime community, that like you get your little anime characters as these little acrylic stands, and you just put them on your desk, whatever. So this is a 6-inch acrylic stand that I'm trying out for the first time.
Yeah, how's that doing for you? How's that level doing for you?
It's an add-on. It's doing really good, man. So I wanted to try it, and it's we got a lot of orders for it, so that's pretty cool. So excited. Yeah, it's only $15, just nice and cheap. You know, people keep asking for new shirts, so here you go. Here's your Sugar Pop shirt. So threw that in there.
God, next Kickstarter you gotta have a body pillow.
Oh, I do. I have them all the time. This is the first time I didn't do it because we had the Sugar Pop body pillow before, and it sold out. So we're keeping it limited and not introducing it again. So yeah, I always do that body pillow, man. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a fun thing. It went over well. So I want to switch to wall scrolls though, because that's what people end up pinning up the body pillow to their wall, anyways. So, yeah. So and then I always offer the once it hits like 15K, I say the book got bigger. So just because I didn't draw the interiors, I add an extra story and I draw that. So you're still getting Mendoza interior content.
Nice.
So I'm drawing that right now.
Nice.
Yeah. So
there's that.
It's Farmville.
Yeah, that's the Animal Crossing.
I don't know why it said Farmville.
Look, picking the peaches.
Yeah,
picking peaches, man. That's the Animal Crossing, and then this is all 3 girls in Super Mario Brothers style. And then we always do that one with we do a full nude that's a metal cover, and then I always free things like magnets. Oh, there you go. That's the lenticular.
What is that?
It's Legend of Zelda, but I call it swordplay.
Yeah, but how do you make it move like that?
Oh, you do an animated GIF. When you build it, you so it's the 2 drawings, and you just build it on top in Photoshop, and then it's an animated GIF.
Is it but the cover is just straight, or the cover if it's one of them?
Yeah, the cover when you go like that, it moves.
Shut up!
Yeah,
shut the front door.
Yeah, man, lenticulars are so fun, man.
What's that called? Lenticular, dude.
Lenticular, yeah.
Lenticular cover.
So this one sold out right away. That was the topless version.
Oh heck yeah!
These are limited to 100 each. So.
I love that idea.
Yeah,
Especially the nude one. Especially the nude one.
The nude one.
So then the first time trying doing car fresheners, little car freshener, vanilla scented.
Do they like send you samples and you get to pick?
No, but I was adamant it had to be vanilla because I based Sugar Pop's color in the puffiness of her hair after cream soda. You know what I mean? So I wanted kind of like a vanilla smell to it. So
nice.
Yeah.
How do you manage all these levels?
Through an Excel sheet. So yeah, nice. We got it all set up, and then all these add-ons we take down in the Excel sheets. Nightmare gets up every morning and does the Excel sheet for me. And then when we're done, and we build the CrowdOx survey kit, we hand the Excel sheet off to Coffin, and then Nick takes it from there, and he builds the CrowdOx store for me, and then so we can get it all done. So.
Now, since you do all your fulfillment through Coffin, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
How does that work now? Like, do you have to have everything shipped to them, or are they actually ordering all this stuff for you?
No, I do all the ordering and everything like that, and everything gets shipped straight to Coffin, and they'll have like the printouts of everything and all that. So they start putting it all together for me, man. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
because that shit's time consuming, man. Because the first Kickstarter for Sad Girl 1, fuck man,
it was a pin.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, there's the stripper pen.
Nice.
Yeah.
What color ink will be in that pen?
I didn't ask.
What?
Will it be white?
It doesn't even work. Like it doesn't even have
there's no ink in it at all.
Yeah. They're like, ink is extra.
Yeah. Hey, Dan, I got a question, and it's something I was talking to a few people about. In order you want to get more story pages and stuff like that, and do you have a page or two or three that has the names of all your backers in it? Like, thank you to all our backers.
Yeah, like in the Kickstarter we could pull it all up and print it out and stuff.
No, but I mean in the comic itself, do you have like a page or two for your backers?
Yeah, I did in the very first one, but no, I don't do that. I don't do that no more.
Do people mind that?
People don't care at all that that's not there. You know,
yeah,
what I mean?
I'd love to add some more story. You know, I the same thing with you. I'd love to add a few more story pages or pin ups. Yep. And because when you get a lot of, I mean, look at it with all the backers you got. I mean, that's going to take up like 2-3 pages.
Yeah, so I don't do that. I think when I first started that, it was it wasn't. I wasn't from the very beginning. I wasn't going to put everybody's name in the book. So I made it where it was called the like a tagger wall. So there would be a pinup on there with Sad Girl and she's like with her spray can, and then everybody that contributed that added a certain amount of money, like they wanted to be on the wall. Like I would put their picture and tag their name and all this. Or if they just wanted their name only, I would hide their name somewhere in the book, like on a wall, like it's tagged with graffiti and things like that.
Okay.
But, I slowly stopped doing that because I wanted more content of story and rather than just names and names of people. So
yeah.
Very cool, man. I mean, this
same
is
thing
great.
Same thing with getting drawn in the book.
Yeah.
That was fine, you know what I mean, and it worked out well, but sometimes it's hard to track these people down. I'm like, dude, I'm already on this page. I'm waiting on you. Send me a picture of your damn face.
Yeah.
You know?
That's when you just have to go on like Facebook and find them.
Yeah, you got to find these people, man. And there's like, so I stopped doing it just because it was slowing down production.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's kind of interesting. You know, I did a tier with a buddy of mine when he had his Kickstarter going, and I did the one to get drawn in the book. You know, they draw your face, and I was kind of like surprised, like I didn't get like, hey, send me a picture. So like then I saw it, and I'm like, oh, he used that picture. That's kind of weird. It was like after I got my new glasses, and I was like, hey, look at my new glasses. You know, and I'm like in the book, like, hey, I'm gonna beat you up, but I got new glasses. You know, but it was
the
pretty
last
cool.
time I did it. Last time we did it was in Sugar Pop 1, and it was in the extra story that I drew. And in that story, they're just playing video games, like a fighter game. So
Mhm.
I made them on the select screen of the different people to choose from. I just drew everybody's face that paid to
Oh,
be
nice.
in, but I made their faces look like monsters or superheroes or whatever.
Oh, cool.
With the
And
move,
then-
do you think you're still going to be able to use Coffin Comics? Yeah, of course. That's what airplanes are for. That's what post offices are for. You know what I mean? So
now, where I'm sorry if you mentioned this. Where are you moving to?
Michigan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Really
next time we
gonna
do
leave
the show,
beautiful Arizona for?
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm in Nevada. So, but yeah.
Oh, you're in
leaving-
Nevada?
I'm leaving
Oh.
that tired of the desert. So
Yeah.
so next time we do this show, I'll be on East Coast time. So it'll be
Nice.
cool.
Are you from Michigan originally?
No, I'm from LA, man. So, but
Oh,
I
that's
just
right. You
don't.
said that you're from California. So what? Why the Michigan move?
I just wanted to. Like, I've been there a few times, and it's just really nice looking, and I wanted to be in an area where I didn't have neighbors, and it's just nothing but trees, and there's instead of homeless people walking down the street, it's just deer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
they-
Nice.
So, you know what I mean? So I just I was like, this is like a total culture shock, man. I'm down for this culture shock. So
What part of Michigan are you going to be in the middle and the
Yeah, what's the exact address of where you're moving?
Oh, I want
Yeah, what's verbatim?
we're gonna be in Jackson, which is it's west. I think it's west of Detroit, about an hour out of Detroit.
Okay.
And so it's kind of more of like a farm community. So they're gonna get a culture shock when we move in, and we got tattoos and piercings, and I got a mohawk and all that stuff. But
and like
whatever.
4 cows and some chicken.
I'll be mowing the lawn and stuff.
You better hope that governor allows you to move in there now. She got that whole damn state on lock.
Oh, that new governor, man. She's like, no one can go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like driving
Yeah,
around in like
I've
a
been keeping up
1988 Humvee.
I've been keeping up on the Michigan news, man, just to see, because I have to go there, you know. So I'm just like,
Yeah, I got cousins there, and they're not too happy.
So
man.
when's the move?
the end of this month. So,
Oh, nice.
so
Congrats.
the Kickstarter ends. The Kickstarter ends on the 24th, and we're leaving 6 days later. So
That's
Nice.
great.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Best of luck to the new location. And I mean, you've got 11 days left on this monster that you currently have going on. I mean, you're gonna. I mean, I know you're gonna do it. You're gonna break the 6 figures on this.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
that's what we're waiting
It's gonna
for,
be
man.
solid.
Yeah. Once you break 6 figures, man, you never go back. It's only to the top from here, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what is amazing, man, about the fans and things like that, because people were in a panic because of the COVID crap, and it's just like, are people not going to have money? Are people gonna, what I mean? Are we not going to be able to survive as artists and things like that? And it didn't affect us at all, dude. The fans are still there to back it, man. And you got fans joking around and commenting. They're like, "Oh, I know what my stimulus check's going to be for," and what I mean? And my COVID check.
Well, times are tough, man. People need an escape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
And you might be able to attend the same conventions that
Hell
Billy
yeah,
does.
man. Hell
I
yeah,
am not,
dude.
man. I don't get invited to Motor. I haven't gotten invited to Motor City in a couple of years.
East
so.
Coast
Really?
conventions,
That's the
bro.
thing. The Motor City for me too. It was kind of like I got in, and then I get there, and then I'm just like, hey, I need an extra badge, for my girlfriend, and they're like, that's $150.
Yeah,
I'm like,
dude. And
but
I'm
I'm like, for an extra badge, I go, why did you give me 2 chairs then? Like, like is that one for my backpack? But you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, well, you got to put your pencil somewhere, mister.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking forward to trying to get into all the C2E2s, man, because it's only a 3-hour drive.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So we would drive to so many shows, man, over here. So we're ready to try out some shows over there now. So it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Right. QC
So, yeah,
Comics.
right there.
Got another $200.
$200 on the Kickstarter for sure.
Oh.
Up to.
Boom.
Nice.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, the boobs.
great army, bro. You really have, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
thanks.
it's a cool, man. It's cool seeing you grow like this and see each campaign doing better and better and better. And you got a lot of passion in it. You put a lot of blood, sweat, tears, piercings, tattoos, whatever you got in you, man. Mohawks. It's just it is really cool to see, and it's great that you stay so humble, dude. It really is.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah,
And-
we just do our best every morning, man, and just try to put as much as we can into it until I'm just ready to tap out for the day. But
Yeah, the boobs only get bigger from here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you know, I mean, that's just Sugar Pop. I was like, this character. I made it a rule right after that. I'm like, no character that we create from here on in can have bigger boobs than Sugar Pop. This is the rule.
I'm ready for ready for
and then we also said no character can be shorter than her.
Nice.
Because we're capping her at 5 feet tall. You know what I mean? And so the shortest and the biggest boobs, and no one can be shorter and no one can have bigger boobs. It was just a rule.
and the exclusive Sugar Pop XP Billy Tucci cover.
Boom.
Yeah.
I'll do one of them, man. We got to talk, man.
Sugar Pop XP Billy Tucci cover.
We'll do an art trade, man. I'll throw down a she for you.
Hell
with
yeah,
dude. What?
Yeah, I'll do normal size she boobs for you. Yeah, Daniel Brule, what's up?
First, man, I'd be honored, bro. That'd be great.
Yeah, man, awesome.
No boobs,
No
no
money.
money.
That's
No
right.
money.
That's right.
It's funny. I was telling Nightmare about it. Like, it seems that, you know, because every morning I'm posting on all these different comic book groups that they invited me to join. You know what I mean? I'm posting, promoting the Kickstarter, and it seems like at least every day I get 1 or 2 comments where like, "What is this supposed to be sexy? What is this? What the hell is this?" And it's just like, and I just laugh. I'm just like, this is so awesome, man. McFarlane, man. When I was young and they had that remember the Stan Lee, the Visit with the Comic Book Greats DVDs?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Best tapes. And McFarlane, man, they did that session when they were just starting Image, and it was him and Wilson and Jim Lee and Liefeld, man, and he was just like, any notice is good notice. It doesn't matter. So I was like, all right. So I just think about that when people don't like what I have, hey, they remembered it though. You know, in the Zombie Tramp days, I just wanted everybody to like me, and I started doing conventions, and I used to take it to heart, man, when people just didn't like it, and they would tell me that, you know, that something's wrong with me, or I'm a pervert or whatever. But it's just, but you just hear people walk by and they're like, zombie tramp, or then you hear, yeah, zombie tramp. You know what I mean? So you just hear every single emotion that you can out of the word zombie tramp. So it's a mixed thing, man. It's not everybody's bag. Who cares, man? So I just learned to laugh it off, and you know, I'm having fun, and if they don't have fun looking at my stuff, then they can just move on. So.
I remember when me and Blevins were walking by you for the first time, we were like, oh, zombies. And they're tramps? Yeah. Yeah. But then they grew on us. Us.
The boobs grew on you?
The
boobs grew on...
The boobs
grew. I was at a small show at a college. It was at a college, and it was in Northern California. And it was a Latino show. It was for Latino artists only. So since I'm half, I was able to get half a table. So I went in, and then, when I was there, since it was a college, you got it's a more liberal mind kind of thing, whatever. But like this girl comes over, and she tried to be nice to me, but she was just like, your artwork is really good, but these things that you're doing, I'm pretty sure you don't mean it, but you're really degrading women. And I was like, how so? She's like, well, zombie tramp, you're calling her a tramp. And I go, well, no, she's really a definition of the word tramp, like Charlie Chaplin. She's a wanderer. And then he's like, and this girl is sad girl psycho, baby. You're calling her psycho, and you're just putting down women. And I was like, well, I just don't think this is for you. There's no need to debate people, you know what I mean? Just let them know.
They got you got the gatekeepers, you got the thought police all out there, man, and
they're out of control.
You know, there's an audience. There's an audience for everyone, right?
One of the funniest things is last year in Toronto, Canada, man, at a show, me and Bill McKay, we have our tables next to each other, and these kids come over and they're looking at our artwork and they're like, why? What is this? Why? Why do you do this? Why? And then Bill McKay, like a grumpy old man, he goes, beat it. I was just laughing my ass
I would
off.
love to see Bill McKay mad.
Yeah, he's just gonna steal people's balls if they end up on his porch, and you know, just
that's hilarious.
That's great, man.
Bill McKay's so nice too. I couldn't even like when I talked to him, he's just like, yeah, cool. I just mentioned like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. It's so funny.
He's like, hey, kids, get off my lawn.
When we do shows and we're our tables are right next to each other, it's like, because he talks so much. He's such a talker, man, and he'll do like maybe one commission a whole show, you know what I mean? and he'll start pawning off people. If you really want a commission, go to Dan. Dan does 5 commissions a day. It's so funny, dude. Because I don't talk at shows really unless people approach me first. You know, I don't really look up. I'm just always kind of. That's why I take Nightmare with me on everything, because she's the one that's gonna smile at everybody, and she's the one that's gonna, you know, help people. So.
See, our bud Robert Sell. I never heard of your stuff until some girl mentioned Zombie Tramp to Billy at his table at a con. And I bet I was like, Zombie Tramp?
Yeah.
Like, that is awesome. Yeah. Where's that?
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. I'm a 90s guy, dude. I grew up on 90s comics, man. I grew up on She. I grew up on Lady Death. I grew up on, you know, I mean, all these things, man. And it's like, that's the kind of stories that I like. That's the kind of stories that I'm going to write, man. The 90s is still alive, man. It's just kind of hidden. You gotta look for it. So.
Well, it was
a lot of guys are bringing it back, man. You know, there's a lot of indie creators that are trying to bring that style back. So, you know, keep doing it because it's warranted. There's definitely a huge audience that wants it, and you know, I think, you know, we could probably get into a long conversation about comics and what's being published, but there's an audience for everyone. We'll leave it at that. You know, there's an audience for everyone, and they can just.
I always explain to people. I explain to people that that's just what it is. It's like there's different types of movies. You know, if you don't like horror movies, don't go, right? So it's the same thing. Why do all comic books have to have capes and underwear? It doesn't. You know what I mean? I draw underwear, but I don't draw capes. But
he just draws the bottoms.
Yeah, it's just genres. It's just different genres. Yeah. So we do.
Well, Dan, I want to thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me again,
fantastic stuff. Like I said, everyone out there, if you haven't backed Sugar Pop 2, please do. 11 days left, $92,377, 4 away from 600 backers. You know, get out there if you can, help spread the word, share it on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, your Tinder, whatever you're using.
Yeah, tell your weirdo uncle, you know, tell your garbage man, you know. I always tell
anyone,
people.
tell your dentist,
post on Grindr,
your kid's pediatrician, whatever, the guy at the subway.
Yeah,
post on Grindr. It's not going to do that well.
Yeah, post on Grindr.
Your local Quiznos. Do they even have Quiznos anymore?
I don't know. I don't think so. Do you guys have Togos?
Watch your mouth.
Do you guys have that sandwich shop,
man?
Togos?
It's great.
We don't have a Togos.
Yeah, I don't have
in California, there's a Togos, and we were just looking at that yesterday. I'm like, dude, there's no Togos in Nevada either, dude. Like, it was a dope ass sandwich shop. It's gone.
Yeah, we don't got none of that.
I don't even know. Yeah.
All right, Dan. Thank you again, and please keep us in the loop with your next project, or anything coming on, or if you're bored one night and we got a promo for someone you always want to hang out with, shoot me an email, and you can always jump on and chat with us.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome, man.
You're the best.
Yeah, I love you guys. Thank
Congratulations,
you so much.
man.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Come back on when you hit 100K. You know, come on, we'll be like, wow, we'll have a drink. You know,
killing the game
from my U-Haul truck. I'll be driving. I'm like,
that's right, killing the game. Yeah, I'm crossing the state line.
Yeah. He'll stop like at a toll. Shit, you got a quarter? Yeah. No, we just have a quarter.
Hey guys, I need you to go ahead and go online and send me a quarter.
Funny. All right, guys. Have yourself a great time. And if we don't speak, good luck with the move.
Thank you. Have a good evening, guys.
Safe out there,
have a good one, Dan. All right. Well, that's incredible, man. I mean, he's just rising. Unbelievable. One of the nicest guys, man, in comics. I tell you what. Blevins.
So I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty, so I probably need to dip out because my cam keeps freezing up on me. But
you're not freezing up.
You're not freezing up at all.
I'm definitely freezing up. You guys just aren't paying attention to me.
Well, you got to say hi to our next guest at least.
Oh, I'm going to, but I'm just letting you know.
All right, everyone. So we've got another incredible creator tonight. One that I'm actually pretty pumped to talk to. I love speaking to new creators out there. And without further ado, Pop X Peers. No, that's weird. Peers.
That sounds horrible, dude.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Not there's anything.
Let's bring in Clay Adams.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
It's going great, Clay. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm trying to figure out how to get some of that Dan Mendoza money.
Oh my God, right, dude?
It's insane.
Boobs, bro.
I guess that's where I went wrong. Not enough boobs.
It might have something to do with you being a Monterey boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I just got this at the aquarium. I don't live there. I was just a tourist.
All right, we'll let it slide. We'll
Dude,
let
you
it
just
slide.
went
Thank
all
you.
hard there on
Good
him.
time.
Going all that California. How's it going, man? Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
Welcome to the show. So, Clay, I mean, this is your first time coming on to Pop XP. We're formerly, if you've followed us, we were crowdfunding comics. Still the core of the show, just a little evolution, as the Blevins would say.
A little poppier.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, tell us about yourself. How did you get into comics? Kind of give us a bit of your origin story.
Yeah, my secret origin. So, let's see. I was growing up in a suburb of Atlanta, and
Nice.
I stumbled across comics at a comics rack. One of the first comics I ever bought was Alan Moore's Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and that just like ruined me for comics. Like I was all in at that point.
No turning back. That was it.
No turning back. No turning back. It was great stuff. And and that was a great time to start reading comics because you had Batman Year One and Dark Knight Returns and all of that stuff. So it was just a really happening time. And I just fell in love with the medium. And I was always the nerdy kid that liked to stay home and draw and write my own comics instead of going out and having fun, That was my fun. And so I went to NYU and was living in New York and made friends with this guy, Alexander O. Philippe. And he and I bonded over Preacher. We both had a mutual love of Preacher when that was out from Vertigo.
Yeah.
Nice.
And when we started writing together, everything kind of had sort of that sort of Preacher-esque vibe, that sort of over the top Quentin Tarantino violence and mixed with dark humor. And so just something about that style just really spoke to us. And we started writing stuff together. And in about 2012, 2013, maybe we launched friedcomics.com and we started doing some web comics, putting them out, putting things up on Comixology. Mm-hmm. And awesome. Hey, Phil, how are you? Frida says hi. She gives you her love.
Nice.
And and we just had a great time making the comics and started doing Kickstarter, and that really seems to be where the action is these days. So we're having a great time.
Well, that's
freedom, bro. Freedom doing the crowdfunding.
That's it.
It really is. I mean, and especially now when everybody's stuck at home and there's no new comics coming out. But like Dan was saying, the backers are still there. People still want to support good stuff, and they want a little bit of normal right now. And for Kickstarter backers, that's backing great projects.
Yep.
Yeah. Great. Now, how many Kickstarters have you done?
This is, I think, our 8th. We've been kind of slowly building and trying different things and serializing a few different series. And this was actually something I wasn't planning on kickstarting right now, Deadskins. And we just, we saw that there were fewer projects going up on Kickstarter, but we knew that the backers were still there. And I had so many friends saying, hey, we're having our best launch ever right now. And this book was kind of sitting in the drawer, and I said, "Yeah, let's pull this out and put it up there."
Yeah, well, I think this actually, it's funny because you hear some people that are like, oh, this is a horrible time. Why are people, trying to get money from people? There's people out of work, this and that. Then you got other people who are like, yeah, but there's people that are working from home and still, have money, and there's people that still want to spend the $20, $25. Maybe they're going for smaller tiers, but they're still spending. And I think what it is too is you got a lot of people home and they're bored, Yeah. I work from home right now, and I think it's great. I really do enjoy it. I don't want to ever go back to my office, but I know I'll have to someday. Yeah. But there are times when it's like, I can spend a little more time during the day, or I might peruse a little more, And I think a lot of people are doing that because the sales figures on the crowdfunded stuff is actually pretty good.
It's really good.
It's really good right now. I think there was a concern in the beginning that maybe now wasn't the time to launch, but again, it is a business, right? It is a business. So, and may not be classified as essential, but for people's sanity and for something to look forward to, I think it is a bit essential.
It is, yeah. And like you say, for your sanity too, people are streaming Netflix and doing binging stuff at record levels. And it's like, people have to be entertained, and we're entertainers. That's what we do.
Right.
Yeah, so let's check this out. So we've got Deadskins 1 and 2, a horror comedy western for mature readers. So what I'll do first, I'm going to play the video, your campaign video.
Okay.
And then we'll get into the details of everything.
Cool. Howdy, partner. My name's Clay Allen. And alongside my co-writer, Alexander O'Philippe, we are pleased as punch to bring you Deadskins, issues 1 and 2. Deadskins was a webcomic we serialized on our site from 2013 to 2014. It tells the tale of Shane, a young Harvard dandy on his way home to propose to his girlfriend. He falls asleep on a train, and when he wakes up, everyone's dead but him. When he gets to the town, it's the same story. Everybody's dead where they left. Everybody, that is, except for the town drunk, Jack. Well, now Shane and Jack have to figure out the secret of what's going on. Why they were spared, and what happened to everybody. Oh, and get the girl. It's a fun book, kind of a cross between The Walking Dead and Blazing Saddles.
Nice.
You've read any of our other books? You have a pretty good idea of what to expect. We hired a young up-and-coming artist to draw the book for us, and it's shot from Layla Del Duca's pencils, so it has a cool, scratchy look, kind of like From Hell. You can get a print copy of our standard cover by Afro Samurai's Takashi Okazaki,
Nice.
or the variant cover by Ben Templesmith.
Nice.
And a few other rewards. We're keeping this nice and simple, just like the Old West. The book is 100% complete, and we're ready to ship fast. The art was paid for a long time ago. We just want to raise enough money to print the book and ship it to you. If we're lucky enough to raise more than our goal, we'll put it towards making more comics. So, pick a pledge level you like and get it. Glad to see you around these parts again.
The artwork, that's an up-and-coming artist you guys picked?
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, Layla Del Duca, she did this book and then went straight to Shudder at Image. She's done a few other things, most recently, I think a Wonder Woman book for DC. So she's done well for herself.
Nice.
Yeah, I love the style of that. So how long has this book been done?
So we finished the book in I think it was 2014, and now we're sort of remastering it. The style of the art, we shot it straight from Layla's pencils, and so now we're kind of going through 2 issues at a time. We're remastering it, kind of darkening the lines so it prints a little better. We were really going for that From Hell look, but also with that splash of red to just really make it pop.
Wow. That's incredible. So it's a black, white, and red book.
Black, white, and red. Yeah. It's doesn't help us any in the printing department, because once you got a little bit of color there, you gotta pay for a whole color book. But we just thought it was such a cool look that we didn't mind.
Definitely.
Unbelievable, dude. Thanks. That's one of the most beautiful books I've seen, or original. You know what I mean? Because
wow.
That I can see that since I can remember. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're huge fans of like the pencil roughs and those lines, and I love seeing stuff like this page right here. You can it's almost like a rough, but it's not. Like it's a finished product, but it captures those lines of when you're roughing something out. Which I'm a huge fan of. I love seeing that, and I love seeing extra lines. Like looking here. I mean, just kind of like these extra lines that. Some might be like, well, why is it there? It works, it's like it's a line that's just going across, but it works, like if you're going quick and you're roughing everything. I love that. When I saw this, because Frank Amazing had brought this to our attention, he's one of our producers on the show. You probably emailed back and forth with him. He found this and he's like, nah, you got to look at this. This art is incredible. And he's like, the whole premise of the story is really cool, man. And,
awesome. Thank you.
He sent that over to us. I took a look at it. I'm like, dude, you got to blast it out to the rest of the guys.
And what's her name?
It's Layla Del Duca.
Yeah, because what I love about Layla's work is that, being a fan of animation, I love like what Disney loved when the Xerox machine, when he bought his first Xerox. because you had these, they call them the ink and paint girls, because for the most part, you had the animators doing the rough animation. You know what I mean? And it seems so live. If you saw the test animation of like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves and things like that, and then the ink and paint people came and they really cleaned it up, and it's still beautiful, but it just doesn't have that. You know what I mean? That kinetic energy that direct from pencils to color has.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear you say that. Yeah, it's her work has such energy, and it's like we wanted to have this kind of rough look because it is set in the Old West. We kind of wanted it to still have that sort of Old West feel, that maybe this could be on parchment or something, like a wanted poster. And it like I said, it took us a little while to sort of figure out the exact right presentation, getting those lines just dark enough that they're going to print really nicely. And we think we really hit on it. And
you sure did. Dude, you made that. You made the Old West your bitch.
I love how like this
that's
is
what we
just
like to do.
A homicide scene. Like this is like like it's not like just like the blood's around the people. It's like splattered in your face.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Yes. That's tame.
Yeah. And the originals, they don't.
Oh shoot, he did freeze up.
Yeah, we
did
lose
freeze up.
Frozen fanboy.
The colors, they don't have the colors in the original stuff. Like you added all the red afterwards, you said. And I think it just changes the whole
He thinks it changes the whole.
It changes
altogether.
Yeah.
Altogether. It changes to a whole level.
Well, I love that too. I love the black, white, and red too. We did a book, 97, 96, called She Black, White, and Red. And I just love that. It's just so striking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have everything the black and again with the pencils, it works so great,
It really pops. It really pops. And that's one of the things that we, again, like took some time to sort of figure out. Brett Nienberg, who did the colors, he did one treatment. Oh, hey, Lee, how are you? He did one treatment that, it had a lot more color in there, and it was very cool. And he did a lot of awesome things. Like there was one where he had just like a whole American flag, made with the colors. It was very sort of impressionistic, but we wanted to go more in this direction. So it took us some time to sort of settle on this. But as we said, we think we kind of figured it out.
Yeah. That's awesome. I have to ask as I'm scrolling through. What's up, Blevins?
I'm gonna go ahead and bounce out before my computer keeps continuing to mess up, so I don't look like a J-hole. But Clay, amazing book.
Just turn your camera off and talk still.
Yeah.
No, well, I have to go to the other computer if that's the case. I'll do that if it's cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll come back on.
Switch it up.
That's cool with me.
All right, let me switch it up. All right, bye.
Switch it up, player. So I see you've got so the whole the fried. I'm sorry. So like, what is it? Refried Comics? Is that what I?
Yeah. So Fried Comics is our company. Okay. And we sort of like to present it as like it's a fun little diner where you go and have greasy food and read comics. And the idea was that that our comics are the equivalent of fried food, right? Like they're tasty, but there's not necessarily any nutritional value. And so we sort of created this whole I guess persona for the company. So Frida up there, she's our waitress. And Phil wants to know about Frida. So Frida's our waitress. She's very surly, as you can see. She's just a horrible human being. You do not want to cross her. But if you get on her mailing list, she's a little nicer. A little nicer.
So can we all get on her mailing list?
Absolutely. You can go to you can go to friedcomics.com/free. friedcomics.com/free. You'll get on her mailing list. She'll send you some free comics. And in fact, you'll see like a kind of an unremastered version of Deadskins. I think she gives away that first issue. It's an older version of it, but you get a sense of what it is. But you'll get 3 free comics. Actually, I think 4, because we do have something called Refried Comics, where we kind of took we took some old public domain comics and stripped out all the word balloons and just sort of rewrote them improv style. Just kind of goofing
that's
around.
Awesome. That's awesome.
So she'll send you that too.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, because I was looking at so like some of the levels you have here, so like for 150, you're getting the super size. So it looks like you're getting obviously the book that's for this campaign, but then some of your past campaign books.
Yeah, so that's if you supersize your order, you'll get the whole Fried Comics library, and that's Pregnant Bitches of War, which we have a whole 1 volume of that plus the first issue of the second volume. Then you will also get let's see, you'll get both covers of Deadskins 1 and 2, and then you'll get Red Christmas. Or Red Xmas, as the kids are calling it now, because we got the big X in the logo. You get what we call the triple play, which collects the first 3 issues, and then we're actually in production on the 4th issue right now. We just had a Kickstarter for that back in December. It's a double-sized issue. It's 40 pages. So we're actually finishing production on that right now, and so that will be in your supersized box of fries as well, alongside Refried Comics.
Very cool. Now, when you do a new book, right? So say like your next campaign book, and you have a different artist on there, maybe someone else is doing your colors. Does all your creators get a persona and a character?
Yes. So every time we do a campaign, they'll have so actually Layla did all of these. So back in the day, Layla kind of drew all the original likenesses, but now if we have a new artist, they'll make their own.
She's very self-deprecating, huh, Layla?
Yes. That's sort of the ethos. Like, we don't take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah.
It's comics. We're having fun.
And that's what it's all about, man. Have fun and give the people what they want.
That's right.
Too much of that, you know?
Yeah. That and the hokey pokey. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
Now, do you guys do conventions? Do you ever do booths with like your own, publications and everything?
Yeah, so before the world went to hell, we were doing conventions. In fact, I did what was it? It was the Fayetteville, Arkansas Comic Show, which was a local show for me. I'm in Northwest Arkansas. And
Dude, get out of town.
What's up?
I said, get out of town. I'm in Arkansas.
Oh, whereabouts?
I'm right outside of Little Rock. I'm in Jacksonville.
Okay, I'm in Bentonville.
Holy crap!
yeah,
I'm in
dude.
Connecticut, guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
You're in Walmart. You're in Walmart land.
I'm in Walmart land. That's right. Yeah, I'm absolutely in Walmart land.
Yeah, because Nile and I were just thinking, we're like, wow, this guy's awesome. And he went to NYU, so he probably lives in New York. So we're all gonna hang out with him.
Yeah.
Well, Blevins' his friend.
Next time, I'll head down to Little Rock to hang out with Blevins, and then next time I'm at New York Comic Con, I'll come see you guys.
There you go.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
You and Blevins can fly out here together, and then
we'll just take my plane out there. We'll just go do it.
I was going to suggest the Walmart jet, but we can take yours. That's cool.
I don't have access to the Walmart jet.
Take the Boeing Blevins 747.
There it is.
Yeah, I lived in New York for 15 years, and then I moved back to Atlanta. I was there for about a decade, and then just moved out. Hot Atlanta, baby. And then just moved to NWA not that long ago.
Yeah, like I was going up there a lot before the coronavirus stuff hit. I'm trying to get esports going for the state of Arkansas. So I was going up there trying to get the University of Arkansas to actually acknowledge, esports, so we can have a winning team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, and Fayetteville's a cool town too.
Absolutely.
That's a happening place. And
Vietnam, man.
Yeah.
You're talking about that's Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Fayetteville, North Carolina, yes.
Vietnam. It's like a swamp, man. It is nasty. Sorry.
But right before the coronavirus hit, I did a convention down in Fayetteville.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like Graham Nolan, Jim Shooter.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was amazing, man. Just hanging out and talking to Jim Shooter, just like soaking up those old stories was fantastic. That was cool. And
I'm sorry, but Blevins, why didn't you invite me now down there, man? We could have done that show.
I think did.
I 100% invited both of you guys. I even said I would take care of the ticket.
No, you gotta get the promoter to get us to come.
Yeah.
Clay, where in New York did you live?
Well, we have some
Oh,
demands.
I lived all over. I lived in, East Village, West Village. I lived in Midwood, Brooklyn. I lived in Astoria, Queens.
Wow! And in my comic book, she lives in Midwood, Brooklyn. That's where she
Really?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very cool.
Maybe you
Now
know
I'm in
her,
Connecticut. This is
maybe
so
you met.
weird.
We may have crossed paths. We may have crossed paths.
Oh my God! Like Clay's just like, I just want to talk about my comic book. What the
Yeah.
hell?
No.
Yeah.
I would love to
Never
talk about
again.
Brooklyn. I lived in Midwood for a long time, and then moved to Astoria, and then moved back to the neighborhood was Windsor Terrace. But my wife was working for As the World Turns, which shot at a studio in Midwood.
Oh,
Nice.
On Avenue M.
so how does
Brooklyn,
it turn?
Brooklyn has the best pizza.
Oh, here we go.
No, they don't. New Haven, Connecticut has it.
Trigger dial.
Geez, you Jimmy
The
Pump.
dial trigger.
Yeah, Brooklyn has the best.
I can definitely say Arkansas does not have the best pizza.
100%. But they do have ridiculous ribs at pulled pork. It is crazy.
Yeah, that's good. And then I hear there's like a squirrel fest or something. They actually cook squirrel. That's like a thing. I thought somebody was joking when they said that to me, but it's actually a thing. I forget what they call it. It's like the squirrel bake off or something.
But I didn't know. My buddy killed a squirrel and they ate it. So it was pretty good.
Well, I know people who eat squirrel. It's a delicacy. But I didn't know that they had a fair, a gathering of squirrel eaters.
Oh yeah, it's like a whole thing, man.
Man, have
I
you?
know a guy who kills squirrels? He just loves.
Yeah, I know a guy who kills squirrels too.
And I'm like, so your hobby is you set up these tubes around your yard and you just kill random squirrels. They're not in your attic. They're not like invading your space. You just like to kill squirrels. Like, I hate those squirrels. That's
right. That's right. They taste like chicken. It's a yummy meal.
Yeah.
So then
Have you been to Yellville for the turkey drop?
No. What is this?
What?
Tell me about it.
Down at Crooked Creek, there's a place called Yellville, Arkansas, and the guy, he's like a huge turkey. Like he grows turkeys all year, and he gives the turkeys away. But what he does, he flies over in his plane, and he tosses the turkeys out the window. And if you catch them when they fall to the ground, you get to keep them.
But they're alive or they're dead?
Oh, they're 100% alive.
Oh no!
Fly, man! Like if they're raised.
Yeah, they think they can fly. Let's put it that way.
Oh dang, that's hard.
He drops turkeys from a plane. Like I was about to joke and be like, oh yeah, they go to a 2-story building and they just drop.
No, absolutely not. He flies over with his plane and he drops them out the window.
Oh my
How do you even do that? Like they move around. You can't just be like, all right, let's go.
Basically, I think he shoves them out underhanded, like one.
Oh my God.
So two things. Lee just says that squirrel is too much work for too little meat. So
that is true.
He does not recommend it. And then the turkey drop. Like, how many people die from that? Like, how many people get hit by a falling turkey?
Like, knock on wood, nobody has died. But I think last year they did get. I think like the animal cruelty or whatever came after him, and they're like, don't you do that, you better, you need to sign this, let you know I did it. And he's like, okay, let me get my pen in my plane. Whoa. Drop.
Never to be heard from again.
Dude, they dropped them.
He dropped them.
Legit, people. Hang on a second. Wait a minute.
You're looking this up.
That's legit.
Wait a minute, make that bigger. Can you make that bigger, bro?
I don't know. Like, am I gonna get? I don't know what kind of strikes I'm gonna get.
You won't get demonetized. You won't get demonetized. It's cool.
Don't do the sound. If you don't do the sound, because you're just gonna hit people.
You don't do the sound, Billy.
Just don't do it. Just don't do the sound. Just mute it.
People forever.
Oh my God, there's a band.
Yeah, dude, it's a huge thing in Yellville.
Oh, that was Sweet Cast. You see that Sweet Cast on the floor right there?
There's always that one thing.
It's 71 years.
There's like a parade.
Everyone looks forward to.
People hugging each other they ain't seen since last turkey trot.
Crowds line the square in Yellville.
Paul Jenkins is in the house.
Paul
Jenkins lives
Paul
lives out in
they have a great show. You guys got to tune in on Wednesdays.
Causing a controversy.
Paul and I were neighbors in Cumming. We actually never met in Cumming, Georgia. We never met. We went to the same shop. It's like we were
I thought it was
we were always missing each other. I'd always walk into the shop and they'd be like, "Oh, Paul Jenkins just came in."
Paul, look at this. This guy drops
people going.
domestic turkeys and
Too, but
smashes them in the ground, and people catch them and cook them for Thanksgiving.
In the creek, and then the traffic around here, I've noticed a lot of birds are just being killed.
People from the city
Yeah,
that think that they just crash to the ground and we're just murdering turkeys.
are they legally allowed to do this?
As far as the Game and Fish Commission, yes.
That's right. They're allowed to do it.
Well, they're domestic. So they're domestic meat. So it's
Are considered.
oh my God.
Everybody's.
I feel like it's not even like it's like a high drop. I mean,
Yeah.
give them a parachute,
Blevins.
Blevins.
Sell shirts.
Where did
Everybody
you
likes
move
the
to,
turkey
Clay?
live
Seven.
Absolute
What
seven.
the?
I would like to point out this is not my town. I do not live in the turkey drop town.
I want to say, if you have not experienced it, you are definitely not living life, sir.
I bet you if like you had a few beers, you'd
Oh,
like, oh,
Come to town.
God, they're like, hold my beer, I got this one.
he's like, hey, get this one back over here.
Because wild turkeys can fly, but domesticated ones they can't. They clip their wings and they're too big to fly.
Yeah.
The inhumanity, Les Nessman. What the?
Like, they,
Oh,
like
what is
these
that?
people,
Is that the
they get-
plane?
That's
Oh,
his
there's the
plane.
yeah, dude. I mean, he
And now
dumped,
he's going back down to get him with the propeller.
Oh my God!
no, he
Sick
dumped
son of
he
a-
dumped so many turkeys, but you don't understand. Like, most of these people, they don't, like they go to the show, but like most of those people don't have money to buy turkeys and stuff. And I mean, like he's like, here, what a better way to do it? Like, if you want it, go get it.
You know what though? Genius though. Think about it. How tender must that turkey be?
Dude,
Right?
totally, yeah.
It's
Definitely.
just a probably delicious tender turkey.
Yeah, no one's gonna get a leg or a wing.
No, like they have wings, like they slow their fall a little bit.
They still get killed on impact on the ground.
Dude, they're
Not
getting
all of them.
the turkeys die.
Some-
I mean, come on.
Yeah, not all the turkeys. All the turkeys don't die, but some of
Yes,
them they definitely pray for death.
Oh my gosh, Clay! I got a question to ask you, Clay.
Yeah.
You talked about a terrace. So I found houses that I wanted Anna to live in, like an old Victorian.
Yeah.
And it's, Fisk Terrace in Brooklyn.
Windsor Terrace.
Oh, Windsor Terrace. Okay, and then this street, it's like 19th Street. It's in the historic district, 19th Street or something.
Oh, I don't know. So Windsor Terrace is right between Greenwood Cemetery and Prospect Park.
Yeah, I wanted to be near the park.
Yeah.
And near the Brooklyn Botanic, garden.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think it's super far from there.
Okay. Well, look
Yeah,
at that.
check it out. Windsor Terrace. It's near it's between Park Slope and Kensington.
Oh, Kensington.
Kensington. It all sounds fancier than it really is.
Okay. Now we have somebody throwing fish out of a plane.
Throwing fish out of a plane.
Throwing fish.
I know we've traumatized people
No one
with
cares
the
about
turkeys.
No one cares about fish. Even the vegetarians don't care about fish. Half of them are like, well, I don't eat meat, but I eat fish.
Yeah.
They do sell shirts that say "Turkey Lives
It's
Matter."
an animal.
We had dinner today and we were talking about meat and eating and stuff, and we just making fun of like vegetarians. And my wife goes, "Don't you know I'm like just one step away from a vegetarian?" And me and Matthew and William just stopped and looked at. We just started laughing at him.
Say, are you vegetarian?
I'm not a vegetarian. I eat meat. I'll eat turkey if somebody throws it out of a plane.
That's right.
I eat steak every now and then. I'm a big chicken guy.
There you
Love
go.
pork.
I think
bacon.
turkey tastes better when it comes out of a plane.
That's what they say in Yellville.
Yeah, that's what the word around Yellville is.
So what? So Clay,
Hey, do you like comic books?
yeah.
Nile trying to get it back on track.
Yeah.
Clay, what did you study at NYU?
So I was a double major. I did. So I started in the dramatic writing program, and then so I've been a professional actor since I was like 8.
Oh, cool.
And yeah. So what's up?
Are you a child star?
I was a child actor. That's right. I did. In Atlanta, I did commercials and things like that. And then when I moved to New York, I would work on the soaps and I'd do some animation. So I did some work on TMNT, and I did Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and all of that.
What years did you go to NYU?
I was there. Let's see. I started in the fall of '95.
Okay, so
and I finished up in '99. Yeah.
Okay.
So he didn't punch you in the nose, Billy. I know we're still trying to find that.
That was not me.
And who jacked up Thomas Lennon? He wants to find out who that guy was too.
Like, are you? All right, now this is going to be a stupid question.
You know, you have an actor's presence.
Are you Chris Adams?
Thank you. Well, I'm sorry. What's that?
Are you Chris Adams?
Well, so my first name is Christopher. So in some of that stuff, I'm credited as Christopher C. Adams. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
That's why he's
surprised.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That was definitely, man. Wow. That's crazy.
Well, what's crazy? Do tell.
I mean, like I remember the new Ninja Turtles back in like 2004 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I was looking to try to see who the people were, and I didn't know who they were, and like the same. Like they did so many different things, but of course you see them like with owning a game store. Whenever I got down to start opening the game store and the 5D stuff hit,
yeah.
Like you remember the people that were on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like you remember the people that were on the show, and
yeah.
That's crazy. Not to mention like I think, you were like Cody. You were Cody Jones, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. So Casey Jones and April O'Neil got together and knocked boots, and then I was their great grandson in the future. And so I was like some super genius who invented a time machine, who brought the Ninja Turtles to the future. We had all these adventures in the future. My action figure is downstairs, but I have a Cody Jones action figure.
I forgot you had an action figure.
Yeah,
dude,
it's true.
Crazy.
And so anyway, we lasted a season, I think. I was kind of like the cousin Oliver of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Very popular character. And so after like a season, we were working on the second season, and then I think they had like one of the Ninja Turtles movies came out. And I think it was either Peter Laird or Kevin Eastman was kind of in charge of the property at the time. And he saw the movie, and I would think was kind of like, yeah, the TV show really needs to be kind of like the movie.
That was the CGI one, though, right? That was the CGI movie.
Yeah, I think so.
Time, right, the one that was just TMNT.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
right.
Was it 4 or
no? It was TMNT.
It was just TMNT, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And did Paul?
Oh yeah, he was one of. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So every Wednesday, Paul and Kevin Eastman do a show on YouTube, and I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah. I'd love to check it out.
Paul, you got to get Chris on your show.
God, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, you definitely should get.
Well, you know what? You all come on our show, and I'll steal all your viewers and your ratings, everything.
We'll do all the shows.
Don't worry about setting it up, Paul. Just come over here.
We had all the card games at the store, and Yu-Gi-Oh was a huge one. And then it went from Yu-Gi-Oh, with the whole, Yu-Gi and Kaiba stuff, and then it went to Yu-Gi-Oh DX, and they had all the DX stuff with like
is that like the Pokemon
and all that stuff. And then like it moved on to the Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds, and I think you were part of all that, right? Like the 5Ds, they were on the motorcycles.
Yeah. I did 5Ds. I think on that one, it's so hard to keep track, but I did like GX and 5Ds and Arc V, and I played. So on one of those, I think it was GX, I played a character named Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse Anderson, right?
Jesse Anderson, and he kind of talked like this.
Wait a minute, you got like
wait, what is going on right now?
Database open, and you just reading stuff.
Like seriously, come on, what are you doing, Blevins? He's like, my screen's freezing,
Billy,
my camera's freezing. He's got like 19 monitors.
Billy, come on, like when it comes to cartoons and stuff, like I have the most useless of knowledge.
Clay, don't turn around. Blevins is behind you.
He's right behind you. Drove up from Little Rock.
He's like holding his license, like, oh wait, you're blah 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 blah. You're like, yeah. Don't look behind you.
It's funny because some people really dig Yu-Gi-Oh, but I know like it's like in the shadow of Pokemon. So I'm not used to people like really knowing me from that show. But yeah, I did all those shows, and then I played
you
Crow
call the actor.
Hogan.
Yeah. I was about to say, didn't you play a different character? You didn't play. I think your character didn't make it through DX.
Yeah, he went away or something,
Yeah,
and then I was Crow, and he kind of talks like this.
Dude, that's awesome.
Can you just go through every character you've ever done, and we'll just?
I'm actually going to do my one-man show right now, guys. So you can just mute your mics. I'll be done in about an hour. Yeah, I'm solo.
It's a nude show.
It's a nudie show.
It's like half nude, It's like the opposite of Mendoza. Like I'm wearing my shirt, but I'm pantsless.
I like it.
That's how I do it, dude. I don't sweat under these lights.
Yeah.
It's just from the waist up. I'm professional. From the waist down, I'm on the town.
It's a party,
and I'm actually on the corner because I'm open.
Yeah.
Could we bring Paul in for a few minutes?
Absolutely. Yeah. Come on, Paul.
Hey, if Paul wants to jump on, I'll send him the link. Paul, I'll send you the link
if you
in
want.
Messenger. It's easier. It's fast. You guys can keep talking while I do this.
Yeah, sorry.
It'll be like that weird silence, like he's young yet.
So Clay,
so are you still actively doing voiceover work?
Yeah, so I did. Let's see. So I just did another season of one of the Yu-Gi-Ohs. Like,
aren't you also Crow in that too? Like, didn't
he
all over? Yeah, you got to stick that character.
Let him finish.
Dude, what are you talking about? You already know, Billy. Like,
Okay, let Clay finish.
Shows have we
Clay
done
likes comic
together?
books,
How is
and
this
he's now a
amazing?
voiceover actor. We like him a lot. Please let him finish.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. No, it's all good. I love it.
Apologies.
It's great. It's good for the ego. So I just finished up that, and they had maybe like an app or something. So I played some of those characters again in the app, and then I'm still doing, since I moved to Arkansas, like I'm doing less. Like there was a lot of stuff that shot in Atlanta, like all the Marvel movies shot there, and Ozark shot right down the street from where I lived, and
Walking
Dead. Like there was so much stuff going on in Atlanta. So I was still pretty active then. But when we moved here, I'll do the occasional like commercial voiceover or something. Or if those guys at Yu-Gi-Oh need me to come back and do more stuff, I'll do more stuff.
Dude, that's pretty awesome.
Is there anything that you actively are trying to work on?
Shadow. Word.
I thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Miguel in that.
I liked Beetleborgs.
Yu-Gi-Oh was definitely never in Pokemon's. Say what?
Oh!
Hey, how's it going, Paul?
Hang on.
Fine
Paul,
American,
I'll
fine
be right
American
back.
lager.
Oh, Yingling. Nice.
Right.
The lager. He's got the lager
Got
there.
the lager, Billy. He's got the lager.
What's up, guys? Hey, listen, check this out, right? So I've never in my life ever had a mustache. And I said to Nile Perfect, my wife, I'm like, okay, I'm going for it. Right. So it is the weirdest thing ever. Look at the state of this.
Oh, dang, dude. That's a pedo stash, bro. Nah, that's good.
That's cute.
It won't last long. But,
I think you should-
save some of that Yingling when
There you
you
go.
need it for later.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I got my, well, I mean, I need Yingling to look at myself on camera at the moment because it's not pretty right now, but you guys are having a great time. I was like, I'm glad you invited me on. Actually, I was.
Paul, did you see Clay's book? Did you see his video? Did you catch that?
No,
Paul?
I missed it. No, I missed it because
No, it's short. It's amazing.
Oh, I
You
can't
should
wait
check
to
it
see
out.
man. Yeah, I'd love
Yeah.
it. I love it. I think this is such a great time. Like Clay, this is a time where everyone's being really creative and like putting their stuff out. And I'm like, good, man. Like, excellent.
Yeah, it's a really great time to be a comic creator, especially in the indie space. It feels kind of like a golden age in that regard.
Yeah.
There's never been a better time to be a self-publisher, to be, with crowdfunding and all, with Indiegogos, with Kickstarters and stuff. And again, you deliver what the people want. I mean, and this is one of the most original, just dynamic books I've seen in a long time.
I love the character
Yeah, man.
design.
Oh, thank you.
It's
That's
incredible.
awesome. Hey, look, you got a link in the thing. I'm going to go support it right now. I want to go.
Oh,
get
thank you, Paul.
Nice.
Where's the link?
Yeah, where's the link? Let's see.
Hey, well, I'll just have Frank load a link right in the chat.
That's all good, man. Yeah, no, that's great. That looks
Yeah,
great,
I'll put
man.
that in.
That's good. We're
Yeah, I'm
doing.
gonna do it too.
we did when I came on. You know, I told Billy this the other day when I was on. So when I started out, Humberto Ramos and I came on Kickstarter and we did Fairy Quest on there, and it was pretty much Humberto and I were the first like mainstream creators to go, let's have a go, and we were really worried about it because we were like, well, you know, we're working at Marvel, and this was when Kickstarter was new, you know, if we fail, we're gonna look like idiots. And that moment when you press the button to send your project live is terrifying, isn't it?
It's so scary. It's so scary. And even like no matter how many times I've done this, it's always scary every time you do it. And launching now when I had people telling me, oh, I'm having my best launch ever. You know, I just had my best launch ever. Like I knew that the water was fine. I knew that I shouldn't be too worried, but still you have that moment of like, what's going to happen? Is nobody going to back? And it's so far it's our best campaign ever. So it's our most backed, most funded. So I don't know, man. Cool. It's a good time.
Yeah,
we did Fairy Quest, and it's such a beautiful book. And we had just the worst time with the backers. Not with the backers, but with our people doing our fulfillment, and it broke my heart. Right? It killed me. But we are bringing it back. I'm actually bringing it back next month.
You did a hardcover, right? Because I supported that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no,
I got it.
Yeah, we did the fulfillment. I'm not saying we didn't do it.
One.
It came with you know
had to get
an aneurysm and 50 enemas. You know.
There you go. Well, you know, this is we all should grab a drink because tomorrow marks the 4th anniversary of Darwin Cook's passing.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
So, have a pop for Darwin. You know,
absolutely, always
one of the greats. You know, and
one of the good guys, man.
Yeah, he's really missed, and you know. He would have went crazy. I think. Can you imagine Darwin doing a book, any book, you know, anything he wanted, like doing an Indiegogo or Kickstarter book? You know, no holds barred, nothing holding him back. Just do, you know.
This is the time right now, right, where look at the way it can be for us, right? Mainstream is what it is, right? It's cool. I've done loads of it, but I love this. You know, I love the fact that everybody's doing this stuff and the creators are supporting each other, especially the fact that creators will support each other, you know?
Yeah.
Because honestly, in the mainstream, and you know this to be true, Bill, you know, that doesn't happen as much. It's actually a little bit different, and it's a bit sad that they're a little bit difficult with each other. But in this space, everybody's trying to push each other and help each other, you know?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why is it? Well, I mean, I know the answer to it, but I just want to ask, you know, especially for you and Billy Clay, you know, when you're talking the mainstream like that, right? Why is it when it comes to the crowdfunding realm, even with some of these mainstream creators that are doing it, why do they act so different crowdfunding than, you know, well, we're both working for this publisher?
Well, I think we know the answer, but it's funny. It's a cultural thing, right? So I voice direct quite a bit, and I would tell you that the voice acting community in Los Angeles is like one of the best, most supportive groups. They love each other and they help each other, and at least the ones in my experience, you know. And so culturally, there's that support, right? Whereas it's not always the same with actors because they feel like they're jumping to like get each other's job, you know, that everybody's looking for each other's job. In the mainstream, it feels a similar thing. Like I want that job, and I'm going to position myself here, and all that kind of stuff. In the independent world, it's not like you're really competing with anybody. It's like I suppose you can afford to support each other. But anyone who's gone through the trenches doing an independent book, or 20 or 50, like I've done, right? You know how hard it is, and so that's why I think the support is there, because I want nothing more than to see you guys, you know, great. Like, can I support it? You know, I love that stuff. It's great because people support me, right?
Yeah, it's a community Kickstarter, and it's you know, to be a part of something with that kind of energy, whether it's creators or backers, it's like we're kind of all in this together. And I think it's a different mindset coming from something like maybe you're chasing a mainstream book where it's so cutthroat. There are only so many things, you know, available for people with a good paycheck.
Yeah.
I think it is just a totally different mindset. And I don't know. I love the supportive aspect of Kickstarter.
Well, you know, you're also supporting, like you were saying, Paul, you're also supporting the creator when you go after their Kickstarters or Indiegogo books. When someone's got a gig at Marvel or DC, you're like, yeah, you get my, oh yeah, because you support Marvel and DC, or people, we feel we don't need it. They don't need the help, but you want to help your friends and interesting people you meet, and I just backed it, so this is great. So
awesome, thanks, man.
No, I just love it. I get so inspired, and that's why Nile and I started the show back in the day, because I'm like, I want to get into this. I want to do this.
We were like in high school, and we're like,
yeah,
hey, bro, I'm going over Tina's tonight. You coming? Yeah, bro, I got an idea. What is it? Let's start a show.
Yeah.
I would love to see a teen comedy starring you guys. Can we make this happen?
Well, I think it's going to open up with the turkeys. So we're going to try to
open up with us throwing turkeys out of a plane,
and then Blevins hanging from the wheels of the plane. No.
Blevins still stands as the most interesting person I know.
Yeah.
Now he introduced me. I'm like, you're full of it. I'm like Googling Arkansas dropping turkeys from planes, and it comes up.
It's so funny, like how you question every single.
I question
thing.
everything. He's like, yeah. So when I was on the International Space Station, I'm like, no, you weren't. Blevins. Googling. Oh, Brian Blevins was on the International Space Station playing Magic the Gathering with Captain Arnold Pumpernickel.
Yeah, when I was living in South Carolina, I used to drive down and intern for free on the set of Dawson's Creek, and I got to meet all these people. They're like, Dawson's Creek was in Maine. No, it was filmed in North Carolina, but they made it seem like it was in Maine.
Yeah, that's just something that hits us with Paul. He's like, yeah. So do you want me to get James Vanderbeek and the cast of Dawson's Creek? I'm like, what?
I'm trying.
He's like, hey, did you read that new Strange Academy? By the way, when I was having lunch with Jerry Springer, this guy fucking is nut. You try to tell me that, Porsches were better than Ferraris. And I'm like, get out of here, you nut. And I'm like, wait, what happened, Blevins?
God, what about, like, you didn't believe that there was a homeless dude that lived in my shed that gave me a bottle?
All right, don't talk about your dad like that, bro. Don't talk about your father like that. You had an argument, and he went out.
Gave you a what? Gave you a what, Blevins?
he gave me basically a 3/4 drink bottle of Hennessy for letting him stay in my shed outside when I kicked him out. He's like, here you go, man. I'm so sorry. And I don't drink. Not that I would drink it anyway, but it's a fun story to tell.
Especially the guy that you kicked out into the street.
Right?
Yeah,
November, right?
It was the she shed, though. It wasn't like a shed that held his lawnmower. It was his she shed.
No,
so it had like fine linens and
it
just
was
a space where he can just get away.
It was the cardboard box shed. I know he was in there with some spiders.
While we have Paul,
right, let's talk to. Okay, what?
Hang on, just real quick though. While we have Paul on tonight, Paul, talk about what you're doing with Kevin on your channel, because you premiered your 4th episode tonight.
Yeah. So Kevin Eastman and I have known each other because look at it, right? I'm growing the mustache and it's all white, man. Because look, I got white hair now. It's great. So I was a little kid.
Salt and pepper.
I was a little kid. I came over to America. And I met a couple of guys that had a black and white comic book, and they were just making it into a toy and a show, and it ended up being the Ninja Turtles, right? So I have known Kevin since I was 20 years old, 21, and the TV show came out, and they gave me a job because they needed somebody. And I studied to be a filmmaker. I didn't plan on doing comics at all. I had no idea about it. And when I started working with them, I was doing like production on the comics, and then I ended up doing licensing. And next thing I know, but by the time I was 24 years old, I was a director of the publishing company at Tundra, and I was editor in chief. So I was a kid, and I think you either sink or swim, and I could swim. So Kevin and I have known each other for 31 years now, and we've been really close friends for all that time. We've had so many experiences, and tonight you guys missed out. I mean, if you can catch us later, we did crazy. We did literally the crazy side of our business tonight. So we told funny convention stories and crap that's happened to us in Hollywood. Last week we did, fans. The week before we did comics, but the one that's coming up is really good. So next week will be kind of the dark side, but the week after that we are gonna actually tell exactly what happened with Tundra Publishing, because it's never been told before.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
No, that story's never been told, and so I was the editor on Big Numbers. I know exactly what happened to it. It's a crazy story. some of the waste and some of the way that creators acted was terrible. Some of the way the business acted for Tundra was terrible. And Kevin and I have always called it an itch that we can't scratch, because we watch people talking about Tundra Publishing and it's never true. And we never understand why they just never tell the truth. Well, we were there. We were there from the day the doors opened to the day they closed. And so we're not going to try and piss anybody off, but we're just going to go, look, this is a story you've never heard. So it's kind of cool. Like, we've got so many shared experiences, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's really
Now
cool.
we play stupid games. Like, we play like crazy, like, can you guess who this person is cosplaying as and stuff like that. We don't care.
Yeah, well, you got to have fun too with it. You know?
Yeah, we do. I did with you, Bill. Remember, you came on the show one time and we just
that was great. That was great. What a great show.
we had fun.
Oh, that's awesome. So I gotta ask though, is this gonna be like will this end? Like, will two pals chat end? Like, do you have it planned out, or you just are like each week, like, let's just do another one? Or is this a quarantine series?
No, Kevin and I, it's difficult to say, right, Nile, because Kevin and I, before the show, we start jabbering for an hour before we even go on, an hour after we finish.
Nice.
We've known each other for so long, and we have had so many shared experiences. We tried to do one about Hollywood tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell stories in Hollywood, and we just cut them all off because I can't even fit in 20% of the stories we could tell about the crazy shit we dealt with in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right? I can't even tell. I mean, I'll tell you on this show because I think it's fair, and Kevin is such a polite guy, and he's very kind, and he won't do it himself. But tonight we were talking about the heavy metal movie that Kevin developed, right? He developed it, and he had written it with a guy called Robert Mandel. And he had already made, the first one already existed. He made Heavy Metal Fact 2 with Julie in it. And then he made this third one, and they had a deal. They were ready to go, and it's really hard to make a deal happen. And they got a call from Tim Miller at Blur, who ended up being the director of Deadpool. And I've known Tim Miller for a while. And Tim said, don't make the thing. I got Fincher involved and brought in David Fincher. And so, you know, that's great and all, but they basically developed this thing out. And, you know, all of that time and effort, Kevin basically handed in his deal, and he was saying, yeah, this was cool and this was cool. The bit that Kevin neglected to mention, which I'm pissed off about, is that basically it ended up becoming a thing called Love and Death and Robots, and it went to Netflix, except it didn't have Kevin's name on it, did it?
No, that was a great series too.
When you see David Fincher and Tim Miller as the producers of Love and Death at Robots, try to work out where it came from.
Well, I know now. And Clay's livid.
And I'm furious. Thank you for picking up on that.
Yeah, I'm not even going to watch the last season of Silicon Valley now because of that.
Right, and so you should be, because the fact is, like, Kevin is so kind about it, but it's heartbreaking for him.
Yeah,
because Kevin made that. That is heavy metal. Now you think about it, and think about the original heavy metal movie and what Love and Death and Robots is, and think about the progress. Right, it comes in, you know, and he's developing it with those two people. Next thing you know, they got a show at Netflix, and it's literally the same thing, and he's not in it. And that, to me, is Hollywood, right? When it goes bad. So
that's show business for you.
That happens all the time, doesn't it?
Got me a little grumpy tonight, so I figured I might come on here and just like spout off, you know.
Yeah, that pisses me off.
Yeah.
Why you mad? Yeah, that's. But that's.
Well, we gotta have you on for our Hollywood horror stories too, Paul. Again,
Buddy, I got so many.
Do another one in a few weeks. I'll let you know when we secure it.
Yeah, man. I got so many. I got ones that are really funny, to be quite honest.
Well, yeah, we'll be funny, and then we'll tell I just call we're just fish out of water, you know.
Yeah.
That's the misadventures of comic creators in Hollywood.
Okay, but I'm a little different, Bill, as you know, because I studied film, man. I was going to be a filmmaker, and I ended up working in comics and had no idea I was going to do it. So I currently work in film now. I mean, I'm on a screen, I'm doing a screenplay for someone right now. I'm directing a Star Trek project right now. So I actually live in that world. I'm one of the people that crosses over both of them. And I still think it's mad. Right, it's the same thing. It's the same for you as it is for anybody. I mean, just doing crazy stuff in Hollywood it's madness, man.
How does that even happen, though? You know, I mean, for someone out there that doesn't understand, how does it happen where someone's working on a project like that, like what Kevin was doing, and then literally it basically gets hijacked?
Can't copyright an idea.
Yeah. It's not what you know, it's who you know, and you get
Yeah.
there quicker, and you could snipe. I mean, it's an age-old story, isn't it?
Well, I mean, okay. You ever seen the first Wolverine origin film?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the bit where you've seen my name on it?
Nope.
No.
Because it fucking says Stan Lee on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because that's the deal that they struck with things. So, I mean, it's that same old thing, man. It's just the way it will be is the way it will be, because ultimately when you challenge that, you have to litigate. And if you have to litigate, you got about to come up with, $500,000 to even begin. And you don't have that. No one does that. And so that's where people lose so much of their stuff,
But then you get known as the guy who does all the litigation, and they don't want to work with you because there's a chance you're going to sue them.
Yeah,
that is absolutely true. Yeah.
or a troublemaker. Yeah, if you're a troublemaker or something like that, you're difficult to work with.
Yeah. So, I mean, I tend to make my own stuff, right? I don't care. I'm like, fine, I can make plenty more,
Yeah, that's the beauty of, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and these other platforms. You can keep that all at your helm. Keep it at your control. They're your IPs, they're your stuff. You do what you want with them. And honestly, when you talk to the business side of it, it's actually more, if you do it right, it's more profitable.
Yeah.
Because again, we got to pay your bills. You guys are all creating great stuff, but in order for you to create, you're going to need the lights on, you're going to need your computers, you're going to need things,
One thing that's really good about comics, though, guys, right, is a really economical way to do 6 issues of storyboards for any kind of project. Right now, we don't intend to do it that way, but they can always live that way. And so I got plenty of that stuff now. And some of our other projects are screenplays, but some of them are just we're working on some of our comic stuff right now. I'm actually working directly on at least one comic series that I've done and developing it with an animation company right now. So it's cool for us to make these things because we can go take them on. That's why I stopped doing mainstream a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've made more money.
A good voice actor if you need someone.
Yeah, we got an actor right here. Famous.
I know a guy. We should talk.
Yeah.
All right. His name is Brian Blevins.
Now Scala is a pretty amazing voice actor too, though. Don't I don't know if he's ever told you that his voices are pretty incredible. Like, not even joking around. Like, Nile's got some incredible
Just
voice.
for you, Blevins.
All right, Scala, do a baby crime.
A baby? I'm not getting
Oh,
a baby
my
cry.
God.
I mean, Blevins, do a baby crime. Come on.
Okay.
Oh my, they're hired. Look at that. See, you got a part for a baby.
We're dueling baby criers.
That's pretty
Blevins.
impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't hire you now because I'm too freaked out.
All right, Clay. So, what's next?
Yeah, what is next?
What is next?
Yeah.
That's a great question. So next is the next 2 issues of Deadskins. We're going to remaster that and put that up. We're gonna hope for a very quick turnaround on that.
How many issues are there total so far?
So there are going to be 5. So 5 issues. So we're currently remastering 2 at a time. So we're doing 1 and 2 right now. So it's 64 pages together. Each chapter is roughly 30 pages. So we'll do 3 and 4 together. So that'll be roughly about 60 pages. And then we'll come in with the 5th issue. That'll be 30 pages. Maybe we'll throw some stuff in the back to give it a little extra heft. But it'll be a nice package. So yeah, we're just gonna keep rolling with Deadskins for a while, and we got more PBOW coming out probably later this year. We'll do a campaign for that. We're still working on the 2nd volume, so we got a lot of stuff in the pipeline.
Oh, very cool. Now, are you looking to distribute these books outside of just crowdfunding, like getting these into local comic shops?
Yeah, absolutely. So they're sold locally in some places here. Like we're in Rock Bottom Comics down in Fayetteville. We're in a shop in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. So we're starting small, but yeah, definitely hoping to branch out. Maybe get with the right distributor and get into shops all across the U.S. of A. or the world.
Last night we had Josh and Steve Jeppy on.
Right.
And, it was a great conversation. It was a good. I don't know if you caught that one, Paul, but we had some good conversation with them. I mean, very open. I mean, they weren't sugarcoating anything that was going on. But what's cool is they did acknowledge like the crowdfunding, and they actually do take it serious. They take it very serious because they see it as a valid market, and they wouldn't disclose any details. But I guess they are looking at how can we also help out maybe distribution for crowdfunding. Or I think, what did they even talk about? Talking about fulfillment, Billy?
Yeah, and then
Like
they're talking about fulfilling to use Diamond and their facilities and all of their staff to be a fulfillment house for Indiegogo and Kickstarter projects.
That's very cool.
It sounds good. It sounds good, and I hope they can crack that nut, because I know that when we did Fairy Quest the first time, I had a really strong desire to try to bring it to comic stores, and we had a lot of interest in it, right? But the way that our book was, it was a big, hardbound, beautiful, like embossed cover, and it had spot UV coating on it, and so the cost of making them against what we could potentially get against the shipping, it was virtually impossible. We couldn't find a way to make it work, right? There was almost no way. And the only way that we could do it was to tell comic store people, either we can send you a bunch at this amount, so we can send you directly, or you're going to have to charge more money for the books. So they can get them from us for, say, 30. They can get them from you for 45. Otherwise, what's the point? You're going to...
Right.
Yeah.
So it became a bit of a challenge. It would be nice to crack that nut, because then it could potentially get a little bit more distribution and work a little bit better for everybody,
Yeah, now that you're mentioning that, I'm kind of kicking myself, because Vinny Tartamella, is that how you say it? Yeah. He asked that question. He goes, okay, so how are you going to ship, how are you going to distribute my hardbound book?
Yep.
I saw that we were going through, and I meant to go back to that, because I thought that was a valid question, because as you guys know, when you're doing your campaigns, it's not your traditional comic book typically. You guys, you're putting in you're making it special, because hey, however many backers there are is how many books are going to be, unless you'll probably order some overstock. You can sell at conventions, direct, things like that, but for the most part, the consumer is primarily going to be whoever backs you, so you make it extra special. So how do you distribute extra special stuff?
They're two different markets too. Like the people that go to comic shops aren't necessarily people that are on Kickstarter, who are not necessarily people who are shopping on Comixology. So it's all different markets, and it's different markets. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I told
what I like about it, and Steve actually, and Steve actually liked this week. I saw his eyebrow cock when I mentioned it. Is having our crowdfunding campaigns is a great way for us to compete against, to help us compete against the big ones, because we can have when you solicit a book, right? So we solicit a book and you give a guaranteed ship date, or the book's returnable. And that, I think, would make it a little more appetizing for a retailer to take a chance on, because let's face it, a lot of books are late. But the cool thing is that the book's already done. They're already financed. They're already paid for. So most part, you can have your copies already produced. So you can say, well, here's the book. And I think that can give us a nice leg up, at least some sort of, it helps you with the competition for sure.
Yeah, well, I think you might be looking at the part that we're missing here is, when I go to certain comic book stores like the Laughing Ogre in Ohio, right, in Columbus, Ohio, those guys know what they're doing, man. They don't do much with Marvel and DC. They do some, but they're selling it independent books all over the place. They know how to market those books, and they know how to get their readership involved. There's a few stores that I've been to that have done that, and there's a bulk of stores that never do stuff like that. They do Marvel and DC only. So you tell me, Steve, with all due respect to Steve and that, who I've known for a really long time, it's like, tell me how that works for a Kickstarter. Where's my shelf space, right? How does that work exactly in a comic book store? We got a book in Fairy Quest that is one of those interesting books. If you see it, you love it. Anyone that sees it loves it. If I've got it at a show, and this is the kind of interesting thing, if I take it to, say, Dragon Con, I can sell maybe 200 copies of that at $40 each. Right?
Nice.
Do the math. The first time we ever brought it to Dragon Con, the very first year, I believe they sold something like 600 copies, right? Over 4 days. That's a lot of money, right? And so you've got all that money potentially coming in from that sale. And then I've got, after shipping and the breakdown for Diamond and the retailer and all that, I get $3 coming in from a retailer. What incentive could there possibly be to except my care for the retailers? I want the retailers to be able to carry it. But apart from my personal investment in the retailers, what investment would I have to give money to Diamond, money to the retailers, take off most of the money, take off the cost of making it? So I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm saying that needs to be solved.
Yeah. Well, and Lee had posted a thing like Jesse James. I talked to Jesse James today. He had his best month ever. And Jesse James is a retailer out in the Phoenix area, and he doesn't sell any new books from Diamond. He has back issues, but he also is a big supporter of independence too. And he had a great month. So it's interesting, I mean. The money's there to be had, and that's why I like talking to Steve. Is that Steve's he's passionate about it. He loves comics, but it's a business to him, and that's how we all got to start looking at it. Yep. We all have this passion. We got into this industry because we love it so much, But now there's a potential to make a really good living out of it if you work your ass off, get your books out, and you just give the customers what they want.
Yeah. Look at what Dan's doing, Dan Mendoza. I mean, he's killing it on there.
He's over $90,000.
He's just about to hit 93K, and he's got 11 days left, so he's going to hit six figures on his book.
He's definitely hitting six figures.
Oh, yeah.
And Brian Pulido does that every time out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With Lady Death.
That guy hits like 400,000 in like the first 10 hours. It's incredible. It's incredible. Like, I mean, just the potential. Like, you've got to bust your ass. He's been in the industry for 30 years or so. I mean, these, guys of Billy, Paul, their caliber. I mean, they've been in the industry so long. I mean, they've got the fan base to do that. And with what they're creating, but the potential though for guys coming, for yourself, Clay, and stuff, you keep working it, for myself, for Blevins, the potential's there of, doing 4 campaigns a year if you can get on it and having each campaign hit $500,000. I mean, you're going to have your costs, but I mean, you're making your living, and if you did that through, and that's with your own IPs, that's with you literally controlling the whole creative process. So, I mean, that the profit's yours once you're done, dealing with the business end of it.
It's a ton of work.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's a ton of work, but a lot of publishers, the smaller publishers at least now, they're not going to pay a page rate. They're not going to pay for the art. They're not going to necessarily promote it. Like, you're still going to have to do the same amount of promotion that I'm doing for a Kickstarter.
Yes,
with some of these things. So it's like Paul was saying with the distribution. Like, what's the incentive really? It's like Kickstarter is sort of crowdfunding. It's kind of the best of all worlds.
Yeah, that was one of the main questions I was wanting to ask when they were on. I'm like, hey, look, with all these other distributors coming out to try to, quote unquote, try to change the game or do stuff, like, the mainstay that has done it, are they going to have to do stuff like become aggressive with their margins or offer more of a, line of credit or something along those lines? Like, what is the difference going to have to be? Because it has to be monetarily based, because you're making the money when you do it on your own. So like the money has to work. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you'd almost have to have like a retailer version.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we did a retailer version with Fairy Quest because we did it kind of via Boom, where we just printed the softcover version of it, a small version of it, a smaller comic. I didn't think it was very satisfying because our book's like a French album and it was too small. But it allowed it to get some shelf space in comic book stores, I suppose, because otherwise it's difficult for a book like Fairy Quest or a lot of these Kickstarter books to get that. They can't get that shelf space. And then if you add all of those things up, and I just being straightforward about it, the fact that the shelf space is difficult to get, the fact that you don't make any money off of it, but you really do when it's your Kickstarter and you sell them directly. I mean, you just put them in your store. Even if you had an online store and people liked the content and you had maybe 3 or 4 types of book, I would imagine that Brian does lots and lots of different books, and then he has a library of them. So now he's got a store and he can keep selling them out and selling them out.
Yep, he does. Yeah.
Right. I was going to say earlier on, Clay, I remember Brian when he was a little kid and he pitched me Evil Ernie when I was at Tundra. That was his first book.
Oh, wow.
That's
it's a small world.
When he pitched it, did he have the pin when he pitched it? Like, was the pin part of the story when he pitched it originally?
In Evil Ernie?
Yeah.
I got to be honest, I don't quite remember. I know he came at us and he, you know, I got on great with him. We've known each other for so long now. We see each other and we're really friendly. But it was before Lady Death, so he was like a little skinny punk kid, and he would go, "Hey, Mr. Jenkins, can you?" Sorry, Brian, I'm just messing with you.
Well,
maybe we should have you pop in as a surprise guest.
Yeah.
He's launching another campaign next week, so he messaged me to pop back on. So I think we'll have him on next week for a bit.
Well, that's cool. We're doing Fairy Quest because it's been 7 years since it came out, and people loved it so much, and they always wanted me to finish it.
Yeah,
and my story with that was a bit of a heartbreaker. It was just that we had 2 lots of people helping us with fulfillment, and they shit the bed so badly with me. They gave me a bleeding stomach ulcer. And I paid a lot.
The thing is that you've got it's not cheap shipping it.
Well, that wasn't the issue. The issue was stealing the money, right?
Oh, great!
So I paid for a lot of it myself, and then all that the fans saw was a lot of it. Took a long time to get the stuff to them.
Yeah.
But what they wouldn't have seen is the bleeding ulcer and this lying awake at night trying to work out. Well, I got to get it out there. So we did the fulfillment. But when it had so many problems, I kid you not, of my entire career, that is the hardest thing that's ever happened to me in my career by far. But here's how we'll do it. I talk with my partners here at my company, and we are going to put it out. No one will ever fucking touch it except me. Nobody, ever. No one's touching that book, or any book that I ever do again. We'll do it. We'll do our own. I got a great guy, Stogie, who runs our Meta Studios YouTube channel. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Stogie Sound as a Pound. Stogie and I will work on it, and we'll be the only 2 people that ever touch those books. And so that'll be the only way. That's the only way to do it, really, because we've tried the backer kit and the backer help and the fulfillment.
Right.
By the way, I don't know if I'm correct because I don't want to give anyone. I don't want to color anybody that's doing it with somebody else. But what I found was that when your partner is unreliable, it will kill you. It breaks your heart because it's got my name on the book.
Yeah,
and it's my reputation. And so when they don't care, they're killing you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big cautionary tale to anybody that ever wants to do this, which is, to me, I'm never going to let anybody touch Fairy Quest or Fablewood or any book I ever do again on Kickstarter. It's going to be me only. You know.
So that happened to me once. I had somebody else doing fulfillment, and they somehow got the backer lists mixed up. So they sent it out to like all the wrong backers. It was not my backers. It was somebody else's backers.
Oh my gosh.
And I, you know what? I can't even remember what the book was, but it was not kid friendly. I can tell you that. And I just laid awake at night going, did they send it to like Johnny Wholesome's Fun Time Adventure backers? You know,
these Yu-Gi-Oh fans are like, awesome. We got to play Hannah's book.
Father MacArthur's opening it. He's like, oh, deity.
and then they're scarred for life.
Yeah.
And so after that, I said, you know what? I'm gonna do fulfillment from now on. So I handle everything myself. It's a ton of work. My kitchen table is filled with books, you know, and packing materials and stuff. And it takes forever and it's a headache, but that's how I know that it's going to the right people.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to get to the right people if I do it.
Well, that ton of work is much more worth it when you see what happens when you think someone else will do it and they kill it, right? When you get let down by somebody, that's when you realize why the ton of work is worth it. And I had done a bunch of the ton of work before. I still had to do it anyway, especially in the first one, because I did all of the shipping anyway, but it's just that I paid for it myself. I had to pay out my own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the guy ended up in jail.
So are you going to reprint the original book too?
So we're doing the first 2 books, which are both 48-page books. We're doing that first, and then we're coming out with book 3 the month afterwards. So we're finally coming out with book 3 and then book 4. And then we're going to do more in that world because we did Fiction Squad, which was briefly, the premise of it is it's a world of all the stories in a giant forest, and they all live divided by like genre borders. So you got like science fiction and fantasy and horror, and the kids' stories live in the middle. And that original story was about a detective from the world of crime fiction, and he realizes he hasn't been in print for 100 years, and so he hadn't had a job. So he goes to deliver all the nursery rhyme characters are because he realizes nursery rhymes are all crime scenes, like Jack and Jill and all that shit.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool book, and I realized how lovely it was. And so then Umberto and I did Fairy Quest, and Umberto Ramos's art is beautiful. And I could tell the phenomenon because every time I was at a show, I could get a 65-year-old man or a 5-year-old girl, and they both wanted it, and they both would come back and go, where do I get the next one? And when you've got a true all ages book, that's like gold dust. You can't recreate that. You can't do it on purpose. You almost can't do that. You just find out that what you've made actually appeals to everybody. And so I've always been in mourning because I couldn't release it again. And then finally I'm like, well, we're doing it. But
now you do it. It'll be huge.
He put some of the original pages up for his charity. Umberto did.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
They're
beautiful. I mean, I don't know if I can share a screen, but I'll show you what it looks like. Can I share a screen?
Oh yeah, you can share.
We
a
can
screen.
make you bigger.
Well, once he'll send it over, and then we can. You can add a screen, and I think you did that last time.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll find you a picture or two so you can kind of see what we're talking
about. Will Humberto be working on any of the new books?
Yeah, so but Umberto's doing the covers. It's been a long time. I mean, Umberto has so many other things now. So Fablewood was always mine. You know, the one about the detective was always my book, and we set Fairy Quest in it. But you know, after a while, you know, Umberto did much more in terms of you know, his work. So let me see. Am I able to share a screen with you? Because if so, then I'll just put it up. I don't know.
Yeah, you share it in, and then I'll pop it up.
There you go. Okay. Well, let me share a screen, and you guys can kind of see. Well, I'll just send you one page of it, so you can kind of see what I just sent to you right there. So the work
wow.
itself,
Oh my God.
yeah, it's gorgeous. And the story is just so connected. You know, for some reason, just the two characters are really great, and that's just one page of the thing. But it, you know, when you and then the other one I did with Ramon Bax, who's an incredible artist, and he's not as well known as Umberto, but he and I did Civil War together. And he's such a brilliant artist, so good at telling a story, you know. And so we had, you know, when you do that kind of all ages book, I don't know what, because you know, everyone's got different stuff that they do, but when you do that all ages book, it can be really, really I don't know, just meaningful, you know, like you realize that you're talking to a bunch of kids and stuff, and it just feels great, you know, like it's nice to do it with younger audiences, you know. And so I'll tell you what, I'm going to just quickly show you the other one too, because I'll show you a different screen. When you do all ages kind of stuff, people call stuff that's for kids or whatever, they call it all ages, but it's not, you know. But when you truly do all, I sent you the other one. So this thing here,
man. Dude, that looks awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, it's and so I guess to me, I got to a point where I said, I don't want to lose this. You know, I don't like the idea that a criminal, the guy went to jail, the guy at the first thing. I don't think a criminal should sabotage these things. I think they deserve to live. And as hard as it is to do this, talk about a labor of love, right? So we're bringing these back, and we're going to do them for as long as the fans will have it. You know, I love the fact that Kickstarter is all about the fans saying yes or no, you know?
And the great thing is that every time you launch a new volume, you sell the old volume too.
Right.
True.
You know.
True. Yeah. So in this world, you know, in the world of Fablewood, we got, because it's such a good idea that you got, like, you know, science fiction next to fantasy or whatever. The next one that we're doing is about a woman from the world of romance fiction, and she's like a cover model, and they send her as an ambassador to the world of horror stories. So she's just miserable as fuck. We've got something for grown-ups and something for kids, and I think those are the kind of things that people like. So we'll do that. But I'll if you guys will have me on, I'd love to show, you know, when we go live with those, I'd love to come on and show you what we're doing. And
100%.
Yeah, I think it's cool. But this is what I think that's the kind of book that you just can't do. I can't get that published at Marvel or DC. You know?
Yeah.
And so we have to do it ourselves, otherwise it doesn't really see life, you know.
Yeah.
So are you gonna pull that artist for the new breakdown? Or?
Yeah, I've got Ramon. I hope will come back to do the one with the romance thing. But we got an artist, Mike Bowden, who's the new artist on the Fairy Quest thing, and he's really great. And there's actually a fictional reason why we can kind of change styles, because they go down through the looking glass, and at that point we can kind of justify why the art style changes.
Nice.
Which is kind of cool. I don't know. You know, we're working hard. It's going to be back to being a labor of love, but man, it has a big dark stain on my soul. That book, because
yeah, no, this will be your redemption.
Yeah, your redemption right here.
Oh, your opus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's, well, like, I didn't want it to be my Kubla Khan, right?
Yeah,
I was the editor on Big Numbers for Alan Moore and all that. I edited the book, and I have most of the unseen pages of issue 3 are actually in my house. So I know what happens when you get an incredible project and it doesn't get finished, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to it then.
Yeah. And both you guys, and Clay, you as well. Anytime you have a new project, please reach out to us.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that.
Sure,
Or
man.
if you're bored and you want to come on a show, just pop in and ask.
Like
to
me.
join the link.
Yeah. We love it.
I'll BYOB. Now
There you go.
I know that's the style. I'll do it.
Where are you having your books printed at?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now I'm working with a printer called Comic Impressions. They're based out of Florida, and they do, for instance, I know that they do like all of Scout Comics' stuff. I think they print for a couple of other publishers as well. But they're still open and operating, and I guess considered an essential business.
I'm just gonna ask, because you're in Bentonville, but have you checked on the brand new comic book printing company that opened up in Little Rock that Mitch Breitweiser and Elizabeth and Tim Lim and Mark
No.
Greeny are all using for Allegiance Arts and Walmart and everything?
No, I actually have not heard about that, but I just heard about how they got all of their books into the Walmart stores.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's got to be huge for them.
I think it's pretty massive, but I mean,
Well,
being in Arkansas, a local.
If their printer that they're using, which is more local, gets in touch with you, tell them I called them like 3 months ago.
Yes.
I will. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you for that name. I'm gonna find out who that person is.
Okay.
You know, I'm set on Comic Impressions for this project, but you know, I'm always interested in meeting new people and
also, if you're really looking at selling your book or having your book in a store, like Mike Tierney, who does edits for the Overstreet Price Guide, he's one of the graders and one of the writers for the pricing and everything else on Overstreet Price Guide. He owns the two main comic shops here, which is called the Comic Shop and then the Comic Book Store, or a Collector's Edition and the Comic Store. And he's a big supporter of indie, and he has the store in North Little Rock and the store in Little Rock. So
awesome. Yeah, I will definitely. I'll follow up with you and get some info, because I definitely like. I know Alan at Rock Bottom Comics down in Fayetteville. He's a huge supporter of indie.
Yeah.
He carries a ton of indie stuff, which is great. So I love hearing that shops are into that, because we need more of them.
Yeah.
have you tried to drop any off at Bears by the Mall or anything?
At where?
Bears by the Mall. It's a book / game store that's actually in the mall.
It's just a turkey drop away from you.
It's a turkey drop away. I'll have to find
three turkey
Look
drops
at you.
away.
Look at you.
Bears by the Mall. I don't know this store. I will have to find out.
It's Bears by the Mall, dude. It's the Bears.
I
by
guess
the
it's
Mall.
a thing. I know Vintage Stock. That's a local thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know Bears by the Mall. I'll check it out.
Crazy.
This is cute. This is fun. Keep talking.
You like
amongst
that? You like?
yourselves.
We'll
Nice.
keep talking
Well,
Arkansas.
Yeah, we could keep. I could keep going on about Clay all day, because we had all the kids come in, and we would watch the shows. Like, we would put the show projector and we would let all of them watch. And there was a huge anime group, and they used to always get like the voice actors and stuff to come on, and we went down the whole list of the voice actors. And what's crazy is, like Clay was talking about how he was Cody Jones, who was Casey Jones's kid. What was crazy is that Chris Evans and Sarah Michelle Gellar, they were the voices for April O'Neil and Casey Jones in the CG 2000, the 2007 TMNT story. So we're like, hey man, maybe this guy knows them.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but
not at all.
Yeah, you kept saying, you kept talking. I was like, Adams. I was like, the only Adams I know was Adams.
Yeah.
And I just started thinking about it. I was like, just gonna ask him, because a lot of people, you have your name up as Clay, so I just like.
Yes, Clay's my middle name, which is what I generally go by, but for whatever reason,
you blew his spot up. You blew up. You didn't want people knowing he was doing these funny.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
thanks, Ryan. You called me out.
I'm going to tell my wife though that what did you say? I'm the great grandson of Captain America and Buffy.
Yeah,
is that
basically? Yeah.
Oh, my wife is going to love that.
Yes, it is pretty awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, but yeah. Again, I think that was cool. Like I said,
that's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I could definitely nerd out more, but I don't want to I don't want to embarrass Billy enough. Like they've seen me go 80% nerd before, and it's rough.
No, it's fun for me.
He's got when we got Tom and Ben on tomorrow.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be rough tomorrow.
It's gonna be rough, man.
Don't give him that pitch, Blevins.
I'm definitely giving them the pitch. I'm 100% giving them the pitch.
No, you're not.
It's your 100% last show. Paul's gonna have to take your spot full time.
Yeah, Paul Jacobs gonna come in and take over my spot.
Yeah, Paul, we got Tom Lennon and Ben Garant coming on from Reno 911, and Blevins has an idea for an episode.
Excellent.
Well, hold on. Like you have to put a little bit into perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like when you about somebody waking up in a bathtub with their side bandage, and it's a bathtub of ice. What do you think? They got their kidney taken, right? Anyway, I'm just using that, but in a comedic way. That's all. Yeah.
Well, explain your pitch though. You can't.
I don't want to explain it in case they're watching it.
You're not telling it tomorrow. Don't
get it out of your system now.
Paul has already explained you can't copyright an idea, so he doesn't want this to wind up on Netflix with a couple other guys' name on it.
So here's
I think it's been done.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Lieutenant, basically Tom Lynn and Ben Grimes play Lieutenant Dangle and Travis Jr., right? And Travis always wears a bulletproof vest. Like he has a bulletproof vest on all the time. At least Thomas Lennon, like he's taking his shirt off. He wears like the short shorts or whatever it is, but he's always wearing that bulletproof vest. So we found out that he had a Joker tattoo on his
real life. In real life.
Yeah, Tom Lennon said he had a real life Joker tattoo. So I said that what happens is there should be some criminal nerds, like some criminal comic book nerds that are criminal masterminds. And in order to get away, like they get caught by Travis, but they capture him. And he wakes up in a bathtub of ice, and he has his side like patched up, like they took his kidney. And they find him, and they're like, "Oh my God, they took his kidney! They took his kidney!" But then they peel off the thing, and they gave him that Joker tattoo. So that was my pitch. I thought that was pretty funny.
It is, but I just wouldn't. They write their own stories. You can't. I don't think.
I wasn't going to do it on air.
Paul, what's your thought?
I'm going to tell you right now what they have to do. They're going to go like, please don't. Please.
Yeah. These are my friends. They're going to be like, Blevins, you and Tom have a great repertoire. I wouldn't ruin it because I don't.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to.
He loves you.
I've just been messing with him.
He loves you.
He does. I think Thomas Lennon is the best. I mean, he's no Jimmy Palmiotti though, but that's a joke. But yeah,
on that note, gentlemen.
Yes. Yes, on that note, it is time to bounce.
Yeah, so guys, you know what? We're going to get this back up here one more time. Let's take a look at this campaign. Yeah, so if you guys can get out there and back Deadskins 1 and 2, 9 days to go. They have met goal, doing very well on this campaign. Over 250 backers already, so you have a lot of fulfillment to get prepped for. And, if you can, guys, keep backing it, share it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're on. Help push this. Keep reaching for the sky on this one, and let's get this thing moving so we can get the other issues out, because this is 1 and 2. We need the rest of them.
That's right.
Make it happen.
Go back.
Make it happen.
Take your passion. Make it happen.
Now, where can the viewers follow you? How can they keep up with what you're doing?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Clay's Evil Twin.
Dude, that's badass. I like that already. Follow.
And awesome. And you can follow Fried on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Fried Comics.
Excellent, excellent. And Paul, thanks for popping in tonight. We appreciate you joining. You're always welcome on. Same for you.
Great,
Always
man.
welcome on. And
Thank
again,
you.
guys, check out Paul Jenkins' channel. It's Meta Studios.
Yeah, Meta Studios. And we do the thing with Kevin every week. And actually, one of the things I'm about to start doing again, we do like a behind the story. Billy, actually, one of these, right? We're going to do like a behind the comics story because we used to. Every comic I write, I always have something behind. It come from real life or whatever, right? So I was influenced by things. And there's Fairy Quest actually in the middle. You can see they Stogie just put the Fairy Quest the original trailer up there. But Billy, I'm gonna tell, because I've never told this publicly, the story of the sheep. So,
Oh my God, that's a great story. Yes.
and it I'm Welsh. Sorry, guys. And it actually influenced an episode of Hellblazer that I actually put that in Hellblazer when I was writing it. Yeah, so I'm gonna start doing here's the individual issue and let me lead you through the real life events that led to the comic. So watch out for that one, Bill, because I know you like that story.
I love that story. That one, and then I'll, and the one that I get, that the great Captain America story, one of the greatest Captain America stories, and I wanted to draw that damn thing.
Oh man, I wish you had, but let's do another one instead.
It's like I wish you had, but you didn't. No.
Nope.
He's too good.
Sucks to be you, bro. No.
You guys are fantastic. Again, anytime. Paul, let's get you on next week again. All right, buddy, too?
Yeah, but I'll be
and
on.
Clay, when you launch that next campaign, buddy, please reach out to us. You're on. And everyone, even if you guys can't afford to pledge yourselves for these crowdfunding campaigns, just share it on your social media for them. And that goes so far.
That's huge. Yeah, word of mouth is so important. So yes, like it on Facebook or Twitter or retweet or share. Spread the word, definitely.
Awesome. Hey, if you guys don't mind, just because it was mentioned so much and I want to do it for the viewers, I'm going to end the show out with your Fairy Quest Outlaws original trailer.
Yeah, please do. I don't know what's on it. Well, let's have a look.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. All right, everyone. Have a great night. We will see you all tomorrow night. We're going to be going on actually a little earlier. I believe it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time. 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll change the promo. I'll get it out there. But like we mentioned, we have the very talented, the comedic duo of Ben Grant and Thomas Lennon. Surely going to be a great time. These guys are hilarious.
Yeah, Reno 911's back, and they're just busy. They're doing so much press because it debuted last week.
Oh, it's doing because it's like it's
Quibi,
right now the flagship for Quibi. Like it's really helping that app take off.
They're buds, and we owe them a lot. So I don't know what I got to do, but maybe I'll get them a turkey.
There you go. Just have it.
Drop it from your plane.
You can have it next day aired.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh. All right, everyone. Thank you so much.
See you
Have a
later,
great night.
everybody.
Let's check out. We're gonna end it. We'll go out with little Fairy Quest Outlaws. The
Great
original
luck,
trailer.
Great luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good luck with everything, and we'll continue to push.
See you next week.
Your campaign on our channels.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a good